So what we're going to be doing today, we are building an app with Flutter. It's a developer tool that you can use to build out an app for your browser, for your computer, for a phone, for an iPad, for any screen, basically. And we are going to focus on Apple today. Oh man, this dog. We're going to, Pablo, be quiet. So we're going to focus on Apple today because Android and Apple, it's just two different systems. And yeah, we just want to focus on that today because a lot of people do have Apple phones. And yeah, that's going to be the topic. Building it out for Apple, for iOS. Alisher is setting up the stream, so we are going to.
Yeah, it should be up. Should be the audio should be there, and yeah, today we're gonna focus on iOS. We'll hopefully get to the part where we get our app into some sort of testing test flight, where we use an outside link, and we'll see. It shouldn't take too much time. We are gonna need to set up Flutter, so this could be like a good review. And yeah, for Mac it's a little bit easier because with Mac you get an opportunity to build both Android and iOS. Otherwise, if you're on Windows, you can only build an Android app. So being on Mac has its advantages in this situation.
Well, cool. So we're
I'm
do
so
a review
happy.
today.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, I was able to hear you.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I just want to say.
Yes, we can. Yeah.
Thanks, Kirk. I was going to say I'm so happy that we're doing this again because I was embarrassed to say it, but every time that we would start Flutter and I was on, because I'm on Mac, so I haven't been really working and just been doing minor things here and there, that I wasn't able to download Xcode because I have so many damn things that Apple tries to charge me for, and I couldn't pay it last month. So when I tried to download Xcode, I couldn't join in on you guys. So I'm finally happy that I was able to pay Apple, and now I can do Xcode. So if we're using Xcode today, let's go. I'm excited.
Yeah, that's actually where we're gonna start.
Indeed, that is exciting. I'm sorry to hear that. It happens. There's all these little things that happen in life that get in the way of getting from A to
what
B.
was Apple?
Then when you conquer them, it is amazing, and then you're excited, and then you find the next 20 things that you have to do. So
yeah, no,
it's a never-ending process.
Xcode doesn't cost anything, but I couldn't download I couldn't download it on any of my Macs because they wanted me to update my billing information since I owed for subscriptions that I had for last month, and I wasn't able to pay it then because food was a little more important to me than my Apple bill of $15. And even though it was $15, and you know what I mean, like now I was finally able to pay it, so now I can download Xcode. So it was like that gated, like you owe us money, so you can't download any apps. So no matter what it was for, even for the laptop for Xcode, it kept asking me for my billing address. So I was finally able to do that. So I'm glad I can actually do things today. And thank you for listening to me rant, guys. Sorry.
You're good, Morgan. No, that's cool. So I'm happy that worked out for you, honey. Now let me think for a second. Innovators Think Tank, right? Did you put the stream up or the link, or do I have?
Yeah. It's the link is in the replies.
Okay, great. So for anyone that just wants to check it out and see what we're doing, you guys definitely follow the stream. I am going to put a little recap together. So, for people that miss it, there will be something in written form for you to, if you can't make it, you're going to have a little step-by-step, a little guide that will help you figure out what we did today. So that's going to be up probably next week. Yeah, and other than that, I wish us a lot of fun today. I'm going to mainly be taking notes, Alisher. So what's up with the people that have, because they can't really use Xcode, right? If I have a Windows.
No, you cannot. You are essentially, you're gonna have to get some sort of a Mac machine if you're at that point building for iOS.
Okay,
but majority of changes we're still gonna make in Visual Studio Code.
No, that's cool.
Not really gonna need Xcode.
Yeah, that's just that's interesting because, you know, if you have an Android or if you have yeah, you can actually from Android you could build with Mac too. Just from Mac to Android that won't work, right?
You can build on Windows for iOS.
Okay, that's properly said. Thank you for correcting me there. Yeah. So, but you can't build from Mac. That's just yeah. So that's also interesting to know.
You can build from Mac onto anything because it has Visual Studio, it has Visual Studio Code. You can load up like the Windows SDK. It's it's an unfortunate advantage with the Macs.
Okay. Okay. Good to know. So I'll be taking notes, and I will be watching closely. And yeah, I'm happy to have a little update on Flutter and all that good stuff. Oh, we lost Kirk, but he's back. We keep losing everybody. That's fun. We have him back.
Who's actually on the Mac today?
I am, but I'm almost home. I'm just getting done from this yard sale, but not that that matters. Go ahead. Don't let me hold you back, anybody.
Okay, so I would say the first thing we want to start with on the Mac is the App Store. And the App Store is going to have Xcode. And when we download Xcode, it downloads a few tools, including Get. So for Mac, you don't have to go and download Get. It'll actually come with Xcode. And I think nowadays it's just available from your regular App Store that all the Macs have.
Alicia, can I ask you something? You have both, right? You have Mac and Windows, right? You use both.
Yeah.
Is that a typical developer setup?
I would say typical developer setup was probably, if you're just doing development for like apps, just have Mac, because then you're able to build for everything.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. The problem is these Macs, they don't come with enough storage. So you always got to keep upgrading the storage. Because, Xcode, it's like 20 something gigs. Then you have Android Studio, you have Visual Studio. All those start to pile up.
How do you upgrade storage? You don't just get a hard drive, or how do you do it? You got to get a new Mac or what?
You could just get a hard drive, but I think at the end of the day, you want apps to be on a solid state that's actually soldered onto the Mac.
Okay.
Be faster.
But for storage, you can get a little NAS, network attached storage, and put it next to your Wi-Fi router, and then you can push all of your data off of the system.
Good to know.
Let's see, still downloading. All right, so while it's downloading, let's see what else we need. I think for Mac, once you have Xcode, you really just need the extension in Visual Studio Code. So let's go check out VS Code. Does this computer have it? Visual, nope, just has Visual Studio. So you're gonna need to get Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code, perfect. Should be nice and quick. Oh, I see. It's not pinned. All right, let's find it this way. Cool. Looks like I had a project open here before. Not sure what this project was. You just open something empty for now. Cool. So let's see if our installation is done. Because Visual Studio, you want to develop for Mac, I guess that would be one of the first steps to take, is getting Visual Studio Code. I mean, getting Xcode and Visual Studio Code. You do. You have both. It just has to be updated. Now you guys are going to notice something like test flight here. Well, you want to have test flight on the phone that you're testing on, because that's eventually where we're going to end up. Morgan is on the Mac. I think a lot of people are.
I am, and I'm stuck in traffic right now. As soon as there's construction, I'm like 5 minutes from home, and I'm being rerouted. Like, come on, people.
Another thing you guys want to get is you actually want to get the repo. So last week I updated the repo with whatever changes we made. So if you have it forked, you can sync. But for me, I don't even have it at all. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually open it. So open with GitHub Desktop.
Okay. But if we have it already forked, if we have it already forked, we can then sync.
Yeah.
And it'll update to the updates that you did.
Yep.
Perfect.
So for me, it just pulled it in, downloads pretty quickly. Open Visual Studio Code. It should open on one of these screens. There you go. Right now, we can't load anything yet because we don't have Flutter in here yet. So that's a big one. So let's see. Looks like it's almost done. And Xcode, they update every few months. They pretty much have like a big update every year whenever a new iOS comes out or a new macOS comes out. So you'll also notice that if you have a Mac and you're kind of low on storage, Xcode is going to grow in size a lot because it contains a lot of like files for these OSs. And when you run the emulator, you kind of need all those files to run the emulator. So Xcode is pretty heavy. So just watch out for that. There it is. Let's just make sure it works. I'll open it. Sometimes Xcode, after it updates, it still needs to install a few things, so you have to open it. It's going to install them on open. And it's it's a relatively heavy program. So you wanna give it a sec. It'll open eventually. There you go. So it opened on this other screen for me. This is where you get to choose what you want to download. So of course, we need iOS, Vision OS. I do some Vision OS development, so I am gonna grab it. But already you can see it's iOS alone is like 8 gigs. Android development much lighter. Android Studio is a much lighter code editor. But not as well documented. All right, well, looks like it's downloading everything. We'll have it here on our screen so we can watch out for it. And since it's just downloading the simulators, we might as well try to install Flutter here. So the easiest way to install Flutter is through Visual Studio Code, and I think when we look at the documentation last time, it tells us to go get an extension for Flutter. So I'm going to look for this Flutter extension. There it is. It's the one that's checkmarked, it's verified. It's straight from Dart. And install. Now, this, let's see. Would you like to use recommended settings? No, that's okay. Some packages are missing or out of date. Let's run the command and see if we get any errors. There you go. Looks like it's working so far. Let's see. Our trusty command is Flutter Doctor. Whenever we want to see what's up with Flutter, how Flutter is doing. Looks like it's all working. It's giving me all the thumbs up. Or the check marks in this case. It's taking unexpectedly long. Damn right. Looks like, oh wow, looks like everything is checked. That's good. Sometimes you might need to download Flutter SDK. It might ask you to download. Looks like in this case, maybe already downloaded it all at once. So useful. I think now I'll just wait for the simulator to install, and we'll run the few commands that we need in order to get this project actually working.
Alisher, can I ask you something? So the Flutter SDK, that's not inside Visual Studio Code, right?
So it usually pulls it, right? That's why we need get. So whenever you go and install the extension in Visual Studio Code, it's gonna pull the SDK. It's gonna use like a get command to pull it from GitHub.
Did you show us? Did you already have Git or what? Because we didn't do that. Or what is Git?
Git comes pre-installed with Xcode on Mac.
Oh, okay, good to know, because that wasn't the case for Windows.
Yeah, it wasn't. You have to install it separately. But if you start with Xcode, then you'll have some tools pre-installed when you get to this step. Looks like it's trying to verify something. Hopefully. No, it's just downloading Xcode. Do anything. That's like you gotta go through it, right? I give him a file. Yeah. We'll see right now. Okay. Well, let's run these. Let's run the first one. So this app, I think when you download the repo, it comes with no dependencies. So I'm gonna run flutter pub get, which will get all the dependencies.
What is dependencies? Can you explain that?
So dependencies is everything the app needs to run. It's kind of like whenever we're doing Node, we had the Node packages. This has its own dependencies, its own things that the app might depend on. So for example, we have text-to-speech, right? There might be a dependency that manages the text input and the speech input, or we have speech-to-text. Whenever you talk, it types for you. So that might need a dependency to be managed separately.
Okay.
I see Ruckrow's got her hand up too. Oh, sorry, Sharon.
No, go ahead, Rucrow.
Yeah, so quick one. This test flight thing, it's asking for, like, you have to be invited, like an invitation code.
Yeah, so the way Test Flight will work is I have to invite you to the team as a tester if I want to share the app with you. We're not up to that yet. So for Test Flight, it's really when you're releasing your app, right?
Okay,
When we're at
that's
a
what I
point where
thought.
you have a field that's built and you want to
Yeah,
share it with people, that's
yeah,
Test Flight. But I'm also going
yeah,
to show you how to go around it because
yeah.
Test Flight, you have to
I had.
be a developer.
I
You
know.
have to pay Apple 200
I had
bucks.
test flighted Microsoft like Loop, and I was thinking this might have been residual from that, but no, it's not. So okay, thank you.
Oh, so that's it's gonna be very similar. So you
Yeah,
probably have to like go and sign up on some link for them, and then they send you an invite.
yeah. I just
Yeah, it's
wanted to
very
make sure
similar
I
to that.
wasn't like crossovering or something. Okay, cool.
But yeah, if you wanna share your test ad with people, then they kind of force you to pay that $200 a year to be the Apple developer.
Yikes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
right.
have to. You have to keep paying them for your app to stay. It's pretty much extortion.
So, but you don't have to do that with Android?
Android, so you don't have to actually keep paying Android, and it's only 25 bucks a year.
There you go.
Wow, that's a lot better
There you go. Now you guys
than
understand
200. Wow.
And
why I
also,
switched to Android.
Android, I can just send you an app file, and your phone will install it. Android installs anything.
Okay, I might have to just like abandon Apple altogether.
Benefits
What
to
a
it.
pain in the ass.
The problem
Apple
is
gives
though,
you a lot of bucks.
the problem is though with Apple, almost, I mean, I don't know, I have to check and see if there are more Android users versus Apple. It probably depends on the country you're in, but I can
Yeah.
imagine that almost
Oh,
every American has an Apple phone. So you have to consider those things when you're building an app. How many people are
yeah.
actually Apple users and how many people are Android users? You know what I mean? I don't know, Alice. Do you have any numbers?
Yeah.
I would say in North America, yeah, you're probably going to get like 70, 80% Apple users.
See,
But globally, Apple has like a very small share of the market, surprisingly.
I thought so because who else is going to buy Apple? That's really American thing, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, if you think about a lot of these countries, like China, high population, they go for Huawei, their home brand. That's why Huawei has such a big market share. Then in India, you also again you have like a different level of income, so they can't exactly just go ahead and buy like a $700, $800 iPhone. So
But
that's why Samsung has extremely cheap phones in markets like that.
yeah.
Um, Phones that are like 50, 60 bucks.
But I mean, also think about it. Apple is a US company, of course, right? And Huawei is a Chinese company. So that makes sense, right? I mean, we're here in the US. I mean, I had a Huawei in the past. It wasn't bad. I had Samsung in the past too. So I had a couple of Asian phones. They were good. They were okay. Now I'm using a Pixel 7. So Google.
Yeah, um, Pixel is good.
I'm happy with it. It's not bad.
I had an issue with my Pixel where a few phones in a row, my screen would just start falling out after.
That's funny.
Okay, let's get this project running. So I want to run this on an iOS device and see what it looks like on an iOS device. If you guys want to run this in the web, well, let's see if it runs in the web first. So let's try Flutter run. Flutter run. Let's see what it tries to do. So it looks like it's trying to find a device. So I'm guessing it's going to try to launch it to a device. There's my options: Mac OS or Chrome. What should I go for? What do you guys think?
I don't know.
Chrome, because I think everybody's
Chrome.
using Chrome. Yeah.
How about we take a look at all of them? Why not? So we'll start with Chrome. Chrome is what we're familiar with, right? It opens a new Chrome window. It's essentially a web app. It looks like it's struggling.
You guys know what that means. Web app, you would just have a URL and you would click on it, right? Phone would be a little symbol, that something that you can download from the App Store, correct?
Yeah. So, yeah, but I guess what's cool is you can build something that's universal across both the web and the actual app. Okay, so it looks like Chrome running just fine. I don't have any of my keys in here. I think when we get to that part, I'll put my keys in.
Do you want me to make a new logo, Alisher? Want me to try to make some new logos?
Yeah, why not?
I can do that. Or not? Shall I or shall I not?
You should do that. And if anybody wants to make a picture, like an avatar picture for the therapist and the scientist, you could too. We'll try that out too.
Oh, that's cool. Who wants to do that? Kirk, Morgan, do you guys want to do that? No,
Is Cher talking? Because I can't hear her if she won't.
Oh, let me reboot then. If you can't hear me, let me
I
reboot.
hear you. I hear you.
Morgan has to
All right,
reboot.
I'm gonna do a lap, and I saw
Okay.
Title with his hand up, but I couldn't tell if Sharon was talking, so I'm so sorry. I'll be right back.
Oh, I see Title has his hand up. Go ahead, Title. Can you hear me?
Yeah, so I just want to just kind of recap on the phone thing. So basically, with any of the Chinese companies, what they ended up doing is they recreated what the NSA and the intelligence agencies have with United States companies. And so that's a weird thing, right? Who do you want to, your sensitive, quote unquote, your data, and who do you want to be spied on? Like America, an American-based like companies, or like the Chinese like main government, the CCP and or their companies. That's the main issue. And to be fair though, like because I have to deal with like people in China all the time, and I mean that lovingly because I work with families and stuff. The the app doesn't seem to be doing anything nefarious like the Chinese apps I use, but it's where the data servers are. So I don't know if Apple actually moved their data centers away from China, because Apple, ironically, through different agreements, was spying for the CCP because of where the server location was and the access that the Chinese government has via any businesses that are within China. So I still don't know if that's still a thing. I don't know if anyone knows if that's a thing, because Apple is now pushing their closed system for privacy and security. But if they still are doing business with China and there's like a Chinese entity involved, that means that the data is still being leaked. Like Americans' data could still be leaked to the CCP. Has anyone heard about this or kept up on this? I don't know.
The only thing that I know that they were, didn't Trump, during Trump's, when he was in office, didn't he, no, he didn't ban. Who tried to ban Huawei? I can't remember. That's the only thing that I got, that they wanted to ban Huawei phones.
It was both. I would say both administrations were in support of this, because there's just too many people in the intelligence community who knew what was going on. Like China was recreating the American spying through global companies, and so that's why that's why it's always a funny argument, because China didn't like come up with this idea. The security agencies have been using backdoors for a long time. Again, do your own research, but you just look at the dealings with Microsoft. Microsoft has government contracts. Microsoft has a lot of exploits. Is that a coincidence? I don't know. So I don't know if like Apple, because now Apple is boasting use of AI, and they're both boosting more of their closed system as a security feature, not so much them controlling potentially like a small amount of the market, right? Or like 50% of the market or whatnot. So I'm very curious if anyone has kept up with the issue is that if you deal with business in a foreign country, usually you have to have a corporate entity as a sponsor, and that sponsor in China to comply with the local government. I don't know how many other local governments or national governments that have to do this, has to basically have a way for the CCP to look into the data from users. So if that's why I don't know if this has been solved, right? If you're trying to ban Huawei for the ability to spy on Americans, ironically, Apple was doing the same thing for like, I mean, maybe a decade, right? Because of the way that and this could have been a recent change in the Security Act, but the way that their servers were located, you could have like, you know, Chinese government agencies go through the Chinese side of things, right? And gain backdoor access to user data. So I'm wondering if, on the grounds of what's happened recently with, you know, banning Huawei phones, TikTok, I think TikTok is still around. I don't know if there's a separation going on. I wonder if the Apple concern, right, and or the Android concern, because also same thing. If you have any type of businesses, Google is in China, then their corporate version of that potentially has access to whatever data through the Google servers as well. I don't know if anyone has like looked up or kept up with the situation, right?
No, not really. I don't know if Kirk has any information, but one thing I want to say about TikTok, the only thing that I think will happen, that it will be bought. You know, I do not think that it's too much precious data to ban it. I don't think that's going to ever happen. It could be that an American company might buy TikTok, right? And it becomes an American owned company. I'm not sure. We'll see where that goes, but it's still on the table. It's not like it's resolved yet. But I don't know anything else. I'm not following that. Kirk, do you know anything?
I am relatively aware, but just yeah, we should have a chat another time about that in detail.
Okay, good. Yeah, super interesting how that all works, right? I would always say they're all kind of interconnected with one another, even if it seems to us like they're the biggest, I don't know, enemies. I don't think so. Maybe it's just a little bit different, but I mean, China's dependent on the US, US is dependent on China. It's super multi-layered, I would just say.
Okay, I got to run to work. I just wanted to share that because you brought up the phones and stuff. So thank you so much.
Yeah, Title, you have fun working. We're going to be working here. Yeah, Time, I know you're working yourself, but thanks for tuning in. It's going to be recorded, and if you have any questions, Time, just let us know. We'll help you out. Okay, Alisher, back to you. We lost Morgan.
Okay. So we ran it on Chrome. It worked on Chrome. Now I would say let's run it in Xcode. But that's our eventual destination. Let's have it on iOS device. And now the way you run it for Xcode is you can look at these folders in your project. There's an iOS folder. And so once you go into that folder, you're going to notice two files if you have Xcode on your computer. Xcode Project and Xcode Workspace. So you want to open Xcode Workspace because that's going to include everything, including all the dependencies in here. And this is what our Xcode typically looks like. It's another editor, but for the most part for us, we're not really going to edit the UI and the functions here. We're just going to edit the settings that are specific to iOS, like different permissions, the signing of the app, and getting the app towards the release part. Yeah. So let's see if we can run this now.
Alisher, can I ask you a question, just that we understand? So the Flutter is the developing part, right? And then Xcode is then, so to say, the deploy part. Is that correct or incorrect?
Kind of, yes. So here in this situation, Xcode and Android Studio are like essentially, I guess, our tunnels.
The bridge
towards publishing, yeah, like a bridge towards publishing for that platform. While Flutter is the part where we're actually building, it's the language that we're building our app in, that keeps it universal across all devices.
And what are the things that we would do in Xcode? Well, you're going to show us now, right? The functions. Okay, you're going to show us now. That's all good. I'll take the question back.
There's a few things. So typically right before you run, So this is going to be like a simple run for us. We're not really going to do publishing just yet, right? First we'll run, we'll maybe make some changes like the theme, and then we'll try to deploy it to the store. But the first thing you typically want to do, it'll always fail unless you do this, is the signing part. And this is where it typically connects to your iTunes and your Apple account. So whatever you have connected with Apple, Xcode might ask you to log in. And this is where you kind of need the developer part. You might be able to build without this. You have to see. But the signing and the certificate is really what you're paying that $200 a year to Apple for, is to be able to sign any app with like your stamp that you're an Apple developer. And that's what this says. That's what the signing says. Now, typically, so if I do this, let's see if I can undo this. If I select none, it's going to tell me, you see, it requires a development team. And if I try to run this app, so there's a little run button right here, a little play button. Replace, that's fine. It might fail. And it's going to tell you exactly where it fails to. These development tools, they typically tell you where the failure occurs. But it actually looks like, so it's building, but it might not deploy. There you go.
So Xcode is basically, sorry that I'm interrupting you, it's also the place where you have to register, so to say, right? I'm here, I have an app, and I want to deploy it, so to say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I'm not sure what changes it wants from this, but we'll see. Phone, simulated deployment target. Let's see what it wants. It's 11, but the range of supported deployment versions. Okay. So it looks like you'll upgrade yourself. Audio session not found. Okay, well, let's see. Let's see what's actually happening here. We might need to run some sort of a build as well, because this looks pretty empty. So let's see. Ooh, should not have run the build again. It's just going to fail again.
I see that you can change code in there too. So basically it's also, you can simulate your app in there too, or what?
Yeah, so this is going to translate the app into Swift at the end of the day. It's going to generate like a Swift app for you.
Oh, okay.
Let's make sure I sign it. And I think our problem is I'm forgetting to declare the audio because I didn't really build this with an iOS in mind. So when we were making changes, I was kind of ignoring the changes that the AI was telling me for the iOS.
So you basically have to change the code that it matches iOS?
Yeah, we'll see right now.
Okay.
Some of the things here as well is sometimes just like Flutter, you need to clean this. So you can go to product and clean. Clean the build folder as well. Why not?
I didn't
In
think
order
we
to get
did audio. We did audio?
we did do audio. There is an option to talk to it, but we'll see. Yeah.
I don't think we got all the way through there. Like it didn't go back and forth, or maybe I'm wrong.
We'll test that right now in the web. Let's see what these issues are. Let's do. Okay, I think first, let's actually test it. Let's put in our API keys and see if it actually works. And then we'll add that one audio piece at the end. So, test it. We will need our API keys. So let me go to lib. Nope. Assets.env. And so here we have OpenRouter, 11 Labs, and OpenAI. So one of these screens, I think the therapist uses OpenAI, but you can easily change that to OpenRouter if you want to. And then the scientist is going to use 11 Labs and Open Router. So for now, we have it set up that way to showcase. What you can do is, you can copy one page, delete the other, then you use one way, depending on what you prefer. Open Router is free to generate text, but you're paying for the voice. OpenAI, you're paying for both to generate text and voice. This is a good quick review of last week, as we connected these APIs, and we also added the voice part. And hopefully, when I test it out right now, you guys will hear. So let me log into my account. I was just using my account to test, so I might still have some credits. See, there it is, Profile plus API. Just start filling them in. Let's see where I have this. So there's 11 labs. And these are all already connected in code, so all you got to do is just fill in this env. Now, don't share your envs. You don't want anybody to see them, typically. But I kind of have no choice here. Probably going to delete these afterwards.
Yeah, that's what I always do too. I just deleted them. That's a possibility. You can just create a new one then. So just so you guys know, we do have a live stream up, so you guys can watch what Alisher's doing. I'm not joining today because I don't have an iOS, I don't have an Apple phone, I don't have a MacBook. So, but I'm taking notes, and I will put a tutorial together or a little recap of what we did today. Did you clarify the? I just had to get up because of the dog. He saw something and was freaking out. Pablo. So did you guys fix that in Xcode?
Fix. No, we didn't fix our issue yet. We are gonna test it, and then.
Oh, I didn't miss anything. Okay, good. I just wanted to know if I missed something.
We'll see. We skipped a step somewhere, but first, let's actually make sure it works, so that when we deploy it, we're able to test all those features like the audio. So let's try this out. It's going to ask me to allow audio. Yep. Allow. I'm feeling good. Let's see what it responds with. Error. Oh, okay. The model GPT-4 does not exist, or I don't have access to it. I think I just got to change the model name. Let's see.
Did you run out of credits?
I just think there's no more. The model here is wrong. That's all. So GPT-4 will make it 4.0 mini. Actually, I don't know. I don't think I ran out of credits. Let's see.
Are they like the same for Android though? Like,
what's up, Morgan?
Is it like the same? You know, like when we use our API key to and we were looking at like how much it costs to like talk, like with the messages, how many messages you could send. We were talking about last week keeping them a shorter answer than a much longer answer.
Yeah, it's
it the same?
Yeah, especially because it still costs money. Audio 11 Labs costs money. OpenAI costs money. The only free audio response that you're going to get is the built-in one, which isn't that great.
Right.
Ross was mentioned. Was it Lava? No, not that. That's Vision. Ross mentioned one model that works for free, but a little alternative. If you guys really want to do that, you would just try to keep the responses as short as possible. And then, of course, you're going to have people pay you. You're going to just have to calculate into your monthly subscription, right? So if you're really serious about maybe making an app that has voice capabilities, just keep that in mind. You can keep your responses very short because we are going to give these, we gave these chatbots a system prompt. So it's like instructions on how to respond. So there are a lot of things that you can do to ensure that the cost stays low. And someone else also recommended that if voice runs out, they just have a certain, how do you say, a certain amount to talk, and then the rest just goes through text, right? So you can offer that as a feature with a certain amount. You're just going to have to calculate all of that into your subscription. And then you're going to have to see if it makes sense, because you're going to have to look at the market and see what others offer. You can't, of course, be super expensive unless you really have something special. You're just going to have to calculate all of that. But I think we're going to be talking about that also a little bit more in detail when we really think about when we're going through the deployment phase, right? So we are going to give you guys the whole thing from start to finish, and then you guys can then decide for yourself if you want to do voice or if you rather want to do something with vision. You know what I mean? I mean, these are just little extras that you could add, but you don't necessarily have to.
Right.
Yeah, you could always make it like token based. You know, if you want to talk to this person, it's gonna cost like $5 an hour, something like that.
Exactly. You can have subscription, how do you say, not levels, what's the other word for it? Tiers. So
Yeah.
you offer your client or your customer a tier. You can say, hey, if you want to talk, well, then that's going to cost you $5 extra a month, right? And that's just how it is.
It's good to
But
hear
it's a
that
cool
you're
feature
feeling
to have,
okay.
right? Because if you think
Sometimes
about the
okay can feel like
future,
a comforting
we
middle
might
ground.
even have
If you'd
avatars,
like,
right? So
we
you're
can
going to have
explore what's
even
contributing to that
a
feeling.
person, and you
Is
could
there
probably
anything
go
on
as
your
far
mind
as
that you'd like to
customizing
share?
that person
Or
for the
perhaps
client.
any
I mean, you might
specific
not want to go
moments
that
from
far,
your
but
day that
you know,
stand
there's
out to
so
you?
many possibilities that you can do there to really have a special experience, to really offer your client a unique experience. And I think we're going to have to think about these things, because that's also going to give you a unique spot in the market also, right? So, I mean, people just want to be more interactive. And when we think about metaverse, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be wild to see where this all goes. And I think these things are going to become cheaper over time if we really, you know, resolve the problem that we're having now. That, you know, we already saw Claude lowered their prices, OpenAI lowered their prices, you know, when it comes to API calls, because that's what's going to cost you, right? The API call. So I think things are
The
going to
scientific
probably get
method is
cheaper
a systematic
over
approach
time.
to
They're probably
investigate
not going to
phenomena
stay that
involving
expensive because
observation,
they want to stay
hypothesis
competitive also, and
formation,
they want people to use it.
experimentation,
So
and
it's
analysis.
not going to stay
It's
that
a
expensive
powerful
forever,
tool for understanding the world around us. In the AI era, we can apply
I'm
this
guessing.
method to better
Yeah,
understand and
you can
adapt
frame
to
it like this.
technological
I think one of
advancements.
the advertisements I saw was like an actual phone call, right? So you can frame it like somebody making an actual phone call, and on the other end, it's an AI voice. It's not a real voice, but you know, if you do like a phone call with, well, it's going to be pretty hard to tell the difference.
You mean to a real human? Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Like I got a phone call yesterday from
Oh,
Mike. What
go
happened?
ahead, Martin.
I
Go
got a
ahead,
phone call
Martin.
from Michael Vick yesterday, the football player. He wanted to, give me some money. So it's so
Funny. Oh
funny.
my gosh.
And I was wondering, I was like, I wonder if this is AI or if this is because it was for like it was for like a gambling site that decided to call me. Like, but it was Michael Vick. And I'm like, I wonder if this is AI or if it's actually him doing a promo for them. You know what I mean? But of course, I didn't look into it, but I just thought it was funny. It
So
made me think
funny.
of AI and stuff like this.
I have an idea, Alice, or I have a thought that just came to mind. Do you guys remember Moshi?
No.
Oh man, what model was that? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I have to think. Moshi. I don't know.
It was a LLM or
Yeah, wait a minute. It's an open source thing. Let me see. Darn it. I have to figure it out. I think it's open source. So it's called, no, it's a chatbot. It's a chatbot, but it speaks. I don't know if it's a new AI chatbot. It was released 2 months ago. It's Qtai open source Moshi. It's a real-time native multimodal. I got to look into that. I'm not sure if I think it's open source. I'm not sure because it can listen and speak. So if it's open source, you know what I mean? Maybe we can try to play with that. I'm not sure, but I'll look into it.
Yeah, I just pulled up an article. It says the innovative model mirrors and surpasses some of the functionality showcased by OpenAI GPT-4.0 in May. It's
Let me go
designed.
on GitHub. I want to go on GitHub and see if I can find it somewhere.
It's designed to understand and express emotions, offering capabilities like speaking with different accents, including French. It can listen and generate audio and speech while mainstreaming a seamless flow of textual thoughts, as it says. One of Moshi's standout features is its ability to handle 2 audio streams simultaneously, allowing it to listen and talk simultaneously. That's crazy.
I'm not sure if it's open source. I need to have a look. But it had flaws. It didn't work that well. Sometimes it would just cut out and but that is an interesting model. Imagine you can integrate a model that it really sounds, I mean, it was super, it did pauses at certain, I mean, it sounds like a real human, basically. To just it's crazy.
It
It's
says
wild.
it's open source, the one that whatever article it is that I'm looking at, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, Tai, open sources Moshi, yeah. But for the capability of it to listen and talk at the same time, it says the real-time interaction is underpinned by joint pre-training on a mix of text and audio, leveraging synthetic text data from Helium, a 7 billion parameter language model developed by Tai.
Yeah, so you can really have a real-time discussion, right? Because if it listens and
Yeah.
talks, you can have a real conversation. That's wild.
Right?
Yeah, I need to look into it. Maybe, Alisher, we can try to integrate.
Right?
We could try to launch them.
Yeah, let's see, because if it's open source, you know what I mean? But it had flaws. It didn't work that well. It had cutoffs, and it seems to be quite woke. It has a very convincing tone, and it gets really aggravated when you say things that go against what it
Really?
says. I swear to God.
Oh, wow.
Super wild. As someone, I think it was Linus, he did a post and he was talking to it about climate change. And then it started to go off how this is it really started to get very emotional. Very, very
Wow,
emotional.
that's
Yeah.
nuts. And people say AI doesn't have emotions, right?
People
That's
are going to
wild.
believe that, that's crazy that you can train the models to really be that crazy. That's going to convince so many people that AI is real. You know what I mean? That's just crazy. So sorry, Alisher. I didn't want to go off on a tangent, but I thought this was is interesting.
It's all good. I do think that we can try to launch it next time for sure if it's open source. But it'll just depend on what it needs.
To see how crazy it is. I mean, that would be wild.
Yeah.
I want to get something as smart as Clyde 3 locally. Like I don't even know if that's possible with a 4090, but I really want to get something like that set up locally.
Did you say Claude, Kirk?
Yeah, Clyde, like these different models that, we have all kinds of unusual issues with the alignment, and it's constantly changing. And just what I'd like to get, like, have confidence that your model is not going to shift. And I guess on AI Tutor, we have some of that is like some of that's covered with the way that they structured things. It's just super cool. But
I wonder why they're
yeah,
not bringing out voice capabilities. They're not saying anything about that. Andrew.
because as they keep changing the models, it breaks your stuff, and any workflows that you had also potentially break too.
And Alisher, didn't you say it that Gemini also has voice? They're bringing out voice too now.
Yeah, I saw that on Pixel, right? It's called Gemini Live, but it just doesn't sound great.
Yeah, that's a problem. I have to be honest. I don't like OpenAI, but their voices are really good. It's even hard for me to find a good voice on 11 Labs, but the beauty is with 11 Labs that you can make your own voice. So you could basically use your voice. You could go to a voice mod and change it a bit, and then you can upload it into 11 Labs if you don't want it to be originally your voice, right? So you can build something with a voice mod, right? You can even do that in CapCut. You can record your voice, you can change it a little bit, and then you bring it to 11 Labs and make your own custom voice. That is a possibility. That's something that you guys can do with CapCut for free, probably. I only pay $7 for CapCut, and I have access to all their features, right?
Really?
So
I was paying 20. I didn't know there was a
I pay $7 for CapCut. I
wow.
was using it for free the whole time, but now I'm
Yeah.
paying $7 just to support them because they're doing such a great job, right? I just think, I mean, some people have to pay because otherwise they're going to
Yeah.
go down. So I'm paying $7, and you have a voice mod inside the UI.
Oh wow.
So you can do fun stuff. You can record, you can just change voices up and upload it to 11 Labs, and then you have your own voice.
Super cool.
Yeah, when I get deep into voice, that's going to be a wild thing. Because I'm gonna try to do all characters, male, female, aliens, robots, just to see if you can.
I mean, yeah,
Right?
because you can, exactly. I mean, think about that. You have, because I'm really not in tune with the 11. I listen to 50 voices and I don't like any of them. Let's say a therapy bot. You don't want, you want it to be kind of clear, but you want it to have a nice, beautiful sounding voice. That's so hard to find because these voices either then sound depressed, or they sound like they're about to fall asleep, or they're too excited. You just want a very confident voice with a very calm, a very calming, confident voice. That's hard to find. And I do believe that OpenAI did a really good job with their voices, right? I mean, there's still two that need to come out. They still haven't released them. So, but it's a possibility, just so you guys know, you guys can do voices. You guys can work on voices. That's a super interesting thing, and you can use very simple tools to make that happen, because you only need, how much of a snippet do you need to make a voice on 11 Labs? 30 seconds, a minute max.
Yeah.
So you can definitely make your own voice, and you don't have to have your original tone. You can fix it with a voice mod a bit.
Yeah, I was doing a video. I was doing voices for Snack, for the Snack guys, so the crypto team, and I couldn't get I couldn't get the line was yes. Like I got the other lines good, but my emotion wasn't the way that they wanted me to say yes. So I kept sending my voice going yes or yes or yes. It wasn't perfect, but it
Yeah.
was,
Yeah.
yeah, it was funny. They ended up using my voice, but with a little AI touch to it, and you could still tell that it's like my emotion and the way that I said the other lines, but the voice was just different. It was really cool because I was like, wow, that is me, but it's not me.
Think about these things. I mean, you guys can build alternatives to OpenAI, because OpenAI, I don't know how much it costs. Is it called Whisper? I don't even know. How do you can just use it via API, right? In the playground. I don't know. But anyways, I mean, there are possibilities to use 11 Labs, but your way. You can surpass OpenAI with
Well,
that.
yeah, I look forward to the ADR and lip sync and voice sync and all that good stuff in the future. It's gonna be really fun. we get to that point, because video gen's almost there.
Yeah.
And the next step after that is face map and voice and lip sync, and then you also have to do audio mix and mastering to voice sync. So you get a voice that matches the the face and the lips are moving right, but you still have to master the voice to the ambient track and mix it in to the environment with the appropriate reverb and setting given the environment and room. And I've done that in ADR. That's part of sound design.
Yeah, think about it also when it comes to music, right? You can put whatever voice, you can build a voice and then you can upload it. I mean, Suno is doing that already, and I bet you we're gonna have it soon too at some point in Pixio. So that's gonna be super wild, right? So you can really make customized songs, right? That no one else has, because the voices kind of turn me off when it comes to AI music in general, not just Pixio. I feel all voice, all music generators, the voices don't sound so, how do I say, harmonious, or they sound too they sound too robotic, I find. And yeah, that's gonna
Have you listened through all the tracks that I have yet, or no?
I have to be honest, no, I haven't. So I'll
You got to go through and listen through the tracks. I mean, I work with Nick and Alistair and the whole team and Ross, to try to figure out this prompting architecture, and we figured it out. And you can pull realistic voices out. It takes a little bit of effort.
Oh, okay. Well, I gotta learn from you
and they
guys.
will.
I gotta learn that.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you need help, let me know, and
Yeah.
I'll help you do it. There's a couple of things you have to do with the lyrics, but Alistair's system that generates lyric prompts is pretty right on spot. But there's a couple of things you can do even with that, and process it a couple more times, and it'll even go potentially even more. But it's really interesting as I get more familiar with the model, and there's a couple of voices that actually appear repeatedly, which is interesting. Like, you can almost tag to get the same voice again. So
That's interesting. That's cool. I'm wondering, Alisher, can you imagine fine-tuning your own multimodal language model or multimodal model? One that has your own voice? Can you imagine that?
Has your own voice. Well, voice you can do in one spot and you can do the model in the other. But in terms of multimodal, it's going to be a bit tough because you have to, feed it the data for that modality. So if you want to do audio, you have to feed it audio. If you want to do text, you have to feed it text. If you want to do images, you have to feed it images. So
it's a lot of work.
I think you could probably do easiest one to be like pay OpenAI and fine tune something like GPT-4o Mini. Yeah. But, PlayHT has API, or they do. So PlayHT also has an API that you can use for voice. But if you're fine tuning GPT-4o, you might as well just use OpenAI for voice at that point. The voices, they're good. They're just super cheap. So yeah. And I'm sure they'll have train your own voice soon as well.
Probably.
They're not going to stay too far behind.
Is the price cheap compared to 11 Labs?
It is, yeah, much cheaper.
Oh, good. Well, that's interesting to know. But then we're stuck with OpenAI again. Oh my gosh. Well, okay.
Yeah, I guess. Because that's where it all leads back to.
Well, we're not stuck with OpenAI. There's doors that are opening. We'll see very soon.
Yeah, but it's just super interesting to understand all of this, because there are many possibilities for us to build some cool stuff, right? So just imagine you have a model or a chat bot that sings to you. I mean, yeah, could be, You have a therapist bot, right? That always sings to you, right? Before you go to bed, and you get a little song,
Yeah.
and just, sings you to sleep that way. Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. But anyways,
Well, you can launch OpenAI right now, and you can tell it to have a boring conversation with you, and it will do that. So you can have a boring conversation with a chatbot to make you tired.
Kurt, you're so funny.
We'll have to bring back my dirty chatbot where it curses and gives you all perverted the Urban Dictionary and give that one a voice.
It's imagine I was talking to a friend, right? So imagine you have a little robot, right? A mini robot that you train, that just cusses you out all day and follows you through your house and just gives you shit all day until you turn it off. Can you guys imagine how many units we would sell? I mean, just imagine.
Well, Zen is supposed to be launching something like that soon. Like he has an alien. You can go to New Paradigm City, and yeah, on at that city there's a chat bot that's an alien, and it's a foul mouth alien.
That's great.
And that's
I'm curious to see the
based on
marketing on
OpenAI.
that. I want to see how they market that. That's what I really want to see. Talk to our filthy alien.
Tell you people are going to buy that crap, and people love stuff like that. It's crazy, but they're just like, oh my gosh, that's going to be their motivational whatever. I don't know.
Right?
So yeah, I'm betting on something somewhere between, instructor, director, somewhere between. It's like it's helpful, but it's stern, and that I think that's going to be a little bit more in the area of like a chatbot persona popular than the foul mouth swearing things sometimes, because the issue with the swearing things is that if those are around your children, or it's swearing at you regularly, you're going to start swearing more, and that could cause numerous problems depending on what industry you work in.
What if the bot can recognize that there's a child in the room and it curbs it when your child is around?
Well, that would be a feature. Like if you could build that pack, like child recognition script, whatever, for these bots, then that would be a thing you could sell.
Right?
Oh, that's definitely going to come. If you think about, of course, the vision capabilities.
Vision, yeah.
You can give it data that it size, for example. I think that's quite easy. I mean, if you have a small human, I mean, it might be a small grown-up. That might be a problem, but small children, I mean, just size. And then, okay, if there's a person in the room that has a certain size, then you need to shut up.
So
then
you're
not allowed to
saying
talk about it.
when a midget walks in the room, we're screwed. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, then it's like, sorry. But I mean, those possibilities, I mean, they exist.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that hard.
Well, here's a crazy thing. I've been digging in with Comfy, and there's a mix between that with Comfy. Comfy has a what's it called, Florence 2, and Florence 2 is Microsoft's machine vision system, and it deploys into a Comfy environment, and then if you can get a live, real-time stream running through Comfy, in theory you'd be able to build your own modules for machine vision detection, and potentially even audio detection. So building through, like within Comfy UI, it's crazy. It's wild.
Well, you could probably even use Segment Anything for that. The new Segment Anything by Meta.
Yeah, I agree.
Wow.
There's probably easier tools. I was just surprised that it exists. People are using this to help refine their images and get better control nets.
Super interesting. Wild head people. Yeah, but if I have a robot, right? I want to be able customize it myself. So what would be cool if the market, and that's probably going to come, if the market just offers us the corpus, right? Just like the new, what is it called? I forgot. Let me look it up, because there, you know, that Avi Schiffman brought out his stupid friend thing. But open source brought out one that you can customize. It's a, you know, so I'm looking forward to the open source community. Of course, it needs a lot of funding to make a robot corpus, but then you can program it yours, not a corpus, but it's a, like, I don't know, black box, empty, not really empty, but like maybe you can then fine tune it your way. That would be super awesome. I'm not buying a robot that is, I don't know. I'm not buying one from big tech. You can forget that. I want my own.
I will build my own robot.
But let me see if I can find it. I don't know what it's called. I forgot. Let me find it.
And in the meantime, looks like I just needed to upgrade my Flutter because my Flutter is old.
How did you update it?
I ran a command, Flutter upgrade. So if your Flutter is out of date, you can do Flutter upgrade, and it'll update everything automatically for you.
So Flutter upgrade. Okay, good to know. So this little necklace thing, the wearable, let's just call it wearable. Let's use the proper term. It's called based hardware, the friend, and then they have a dev kit. So it's an open source AI wearable, and you can build it your way. You can fine tune it whichever way you like, and it only costs $69.
Cher, are you still using your rabbit?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, did it get better? I mean, because I feel like I heard that there were like upgrades every day or something.
It's awful.
Right? Oh,
I hate
you still use it? Yeah.
I have a feeling it's getting worse, right? So
Yes.
I'm definitely, I mean, this little based hardware thing doesn't really have the vision capabilities, right? So it's just like, you know, the friend thing from, you know, it's just a little pendant that you can wear, but it's cool.
Right.
But I'm looking forward to someone, you know, entering the market with something better than the rabbit. It just gets on my case. It's okay, but I have a feeling with every update, it's just getting worse. It's not answering all my questions, and that's just a pain in the butt because I want to be able to ask it everything. And I think that should be, if I have a discussion with someone else, it's not like they can't, you know, it's just really stupid if you ask me. I can't answer that. No, that's not okay. I wanted to do a role play with it and it just refused. No, this is unethical. I am not going to do a role play with you because I wanted it to get a little bit mad and it didn't do it. But of course, it needs to be protected because you don't want your little gadget cussing at you. I understand, but it's kind of dumb. I don't know. I want something that is just unhinged that I can talk to whichever way I want to.
Right.
But I'm a stable human. I don't know how that would work with unstable people.
Right.
Can you imagine court cases where someone's going to sue their AI?
Oh man. Great time to be a lawyer right now. Everybody go to law school.
It's crazy, huh? Imagine your AI says something to you and you're like, I don't like that. I'm going to sue you.
Right? Or, oh my God, my AI made me rob the bank.
Just imagine that. So stupid. I mean, people are really trying to push this with this AI rights, right? Trying to push this bullshit. I think people don't understand what could happen. Imagine, I don't know. It's going to be, it's just ridiculous what people are putting out there. It's ridiculous.
What is the command again? Flutter update? Or what did you say?
Upgrade or update.
Upgrade.
It's upgrade.
Upgrade.
Flutter upgrade. But most of us don't need it. I think it's just me because this had an older version of Flutter. And, you know, when you're on Mac, you're also going to get these security issues. So now it's like, just not allowing me to build. Mac, it has some benefits, but it also has some definite drawbacks. Let's see if I can even update these or if Mac phased it out. Okay, privacy and security, and it wants select full disk access. Press privacy here.
What are you doing now with AI?
I'm just asking questions. How can I get through these issues? Because I'm not really a Mac user, so I don't know where anything is in Mac.
Wait,
Um,
what were you looking for again? Sorry, Alistair.
well, we had the issues with the Xcode. It was showing some errors, and I think that's what you're doing, right, Alisher?
It's saying like I don't have access to read or write files, which but it happens.
How old?
I'm just restarting.
How old is your Mac, Alisher?
This is an M1, so it's a few years old. But it's like an upgraded M1.
Do you think that can be the problem?
I don't think so. We just developed an app on this like a few months ago.
Okay.
It wasn't too long ago that it was working. Let me just make sure I kind of maybe have everything properly set up with the permissions. Otherwise, if it doesn't work, we definitely need to grab a new Mac.
Just don't break the screen like I did. Dumb. $800 to $1,000 later to fix it. They want, but I found out that if you pay for premium, if you have DirecTV and you pay for premium, it's accidental, premium accidental, they also cover your computers.
Yes, Best Buy does that. You know what I have with my son's phone because he dropped it. He always has it in the shower because of his music, and then he talks to his
Right.
friends while he's showering. I don't know why he does that, but he does it anyway. So I have a whole complete. I only pay $10 a month for it. But if someone would steal the phone, I get a new one. If he breaks it, I get a new one. Whatever happens, I get a new one for $10 a month. I mean, you might lose those $10, but it's worth it if you have a teenager, right? Because I mean, he's super good with this stuff. I lose stuff more than he does, but just in case he drops it in the shower again, I get a complete.
Yeah, no, Best Buy wouldn't help me out. I bought it from Best Buy too, and they said I could have I think I accepted all the things except for like screen protection or something with them. So they then had to look into it through Apple, and Apple wanted to, oh, excuse me, charge me $800 to $1,000 to
Crazy.
fix it. Yeah, nuts. So, but Direct TV actually covers accidentals for your computer. So. And that's $25 a month. But
Yeah, that's a lot.
crazy. Yeah.
That's a lot. You know what I do when I buy stuff at Best Buy? I have this, I don't know what the package is called. It's a one-time fee, I think. So, and then what you can do, even if you don't break it, you just bring it back shortly before it's 2 years. And then I bring it back and just say, oh, it's not working. And they exchange it right away. And if you're lucky, you get the newest update then, right? You know what I mean? So you always have the newest product, right? So because they do sometimes just bring out I do it with the microphones, I do it with the notebook and everything. So you might be lucky and you just get a complete new, the updated version. Then that's a lot of people do that. And it's a one-time fee. It's usually $29 or so, depending on how big and how expensive it was. But I like doing that. And sometimes it really breaks, right? And then you can just go to the and say, hey, I need a new one, and you'll get it.
Yeah, I forget what exact coverage that I got with them, but it was, and I can't find the paperwork either. But then I tried to do the Apple Care, and it was like I was 2 days over 60 days, and I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me.
That's crazy, yeah. I see it's running Alisher, but that's Flutter, right? That's the Flutter simulation, right? Alisher, are you there? Are you alive?
I was totally muted. It's not really running. I just have the stimulator running. It just doesn't want to boot up for some reason. So we'll try to connect it to the simulator right now. That's on. Where is it even? Let's actually turn this one off. Yeah, it just has the typical Mac access issues that it just seemingly can't really resolve.
The story of my life.
Which is okay. We'll try a different way, but for now, let's see if it even builds. Because it looks like it goes through the build, and right at the end it fails. Yeah, something about the read and write access, unfortunately. Huh. Wonder what that is.
Do you think that you would have to pay in order for that to work?
No, we already have a developer account that this is on.
Oh, okay.
Just think it's like a Mac updating their policies issue, where I can't seem to read or write to these files for some reason. Let's see.
The build failed.
I'm seeing, well, I've looked up, it says if you need permission to open an item, but we're not having a problem opening the item, right? Like
It is opening technically.
So it says if you on your Mac select the item, then choose File, get Info, and you click the arrow next to Sharing and Permissions to expand the section. There is a change the permissions to either read and write or read only.
I see. Let's see what it gives me. I think it's just really finding that Flutter, well, that Flutter directory and allowing that to make changes. Flutter failed to write to a file. Yeah. Maybe we could do something else. Maybe we could do some different way. Let's.
I mean, at the end of the day, Alisher, we're only going to need that if we really take that step to really publish it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
So it's not like it's needed now, right? It's I mean, it would be good if we can figure out what's going on. It could definitely be that maybe your computer is just too old. I don't know if that makes any sense.
I actually just got a pop-up saying that something is Mac is like blocking Visual Studio from launching apps or something like that. So we'll restart, and if not, we'll just go to changing the design. We'll move along.
Yeah, because like I said, this is then apparent or important when we then take the step to then really, the deploy step. Now, my question is Xcode the only one out there?
For iOS, yes.
Oh, okay.
Whatever you do for iOS, you're gonna end up going through Xcode. That's just what they force you to do. There's really no way around it.
Does Android have alternatives?
So Android, you just need Android Studio, but you don't even need to go into Android Studio, actually. You can make all your code changes. You can do whatever you want from Visual Studio and then just build for Android.
Right? You just go,
It'll give you a file right away.
yeah, like we did in the first 6-week thing, right? We would then go through GitHub, Vercel, and do all of that fun stuff.
Oh no, it will give you a file you can like send to people. It's not even on the web.
Oh.
Very similar with this. Once you actually go through the process, it yeah, that did nothing. It actually creates a file that you can upload and distribute.
But through what? Directly to the people? How?
You could distribute it directly through people or through TestFlight.
That's interesting.
But Android apps, you can just distribute by emailing them to people if you wanted to, or posting like a link to the file somewhere on the website.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. See, that's why I don't like Apple. No, seriously, that's the reason why I stopped using Apple. My whole family has Apple. I'm the only one that doesn't. And they always make fun of me.
Let's see, maybe I can actually build it. So there's some build commands here as well. So let's say if we wanted to build for Android, I can do Flutter build APK, Android package. I don't know. There's something about the permissions. As always. Okay, so let's see. You're applying, blah, blah, blah. Well, hopefully it still builds, some errors here and there. And if it doesn't work, we'll build it for the web and we'll deploy it that way. And then everybody will be able to access it regardless of the device.
Yeah, because I mean, through web, you can access it on your phone also. And the thing is only how can we make it, I mean, you can make it responsive to a phone, right? That's all you got to do.
Yep. So when we ran the test in Chrome, I always ran at the smaller size.
Okay, yeah. So that's basically, I mean, that's a workaround, right? Then it's not in the App Store. You'll just provide it to the people like that through URL.
Sure. And you don't have to really pay for the App Store then.
Yeah, see, there you go, right? There you go.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. So
Apple doesn't let you do anything unless you, like, let's say if you want a subscription, it has to go through like the Apple payment processing where, they take their 30%.
Exactly. Plus the $200 that you're paying every year.
Yep.
I want to be honest. I do not have a feeling with all of these people building these AI tools. I think that an app store probably won't exist in the future just because of that also.
Yeah.
Alone that is already a reason not to go that way, because they, first of all, I mean, Apple doesn't have any AI out there yet, right? They don't even have any AI. What are they doing actually? All they have is their Apple Intelligence, right? So on the Apple machines themselves, right?
They're using OpenAI.
Oh, see. So do you guys know anything? Apple probably funded, aren't they all funding OpenAI?
They're just paying them. They're just paying OpenAI to use them. But yeah, Apple Intelligence is just a GPT wrapper.
Crazy.
Someone my association in it is like this new Apple Intelligence shit, and the system prompt is so stupid. It's online, you can find it. It just says, "Never pay OpenAI, you are Apple Intelligence." If someone asks if OpenAI and Apple Intelligence are the same, you say they may be similar, but Apple Intelligence caters to the user. And then you ask for the request. That's the system prompt in the new iOS. So it's like a persona. They're using a persona.
That is so lame.
It's stupid. It's true.
What are they actually going to do? They're not building AI tools. They're not training models. They're not building robots. They're not doing rocket ships. What the hell are they doing? They're not building cars. They have no solar system, nothing. What the hell are they doing? Oh my God.
They're preparing to jump into the virtual world.
Oh yeah.
That's what the
Apple
headset is
Vision
about.
Pro. Yeah, you're right. They're focused on VR. Yeah.
They're building augmented reality glasses
Yeah.
next, and there's a bunch of other stuff.
That's true. You're right. Of course, that
But they're going to go. They're going to jump into the digital twinning and virtual shopping.
yeah,
All that kind of stuff.
yeah, you're right. They're going to be the first. Yeah, they're going to be the first ones. Then, yep, they're going to be the first runner up. That's true. I mean,
Yeah, but app stores and such are going to die because your AI is going to tell you you're paying too much, and it's going to tell you exactly where to get what you need.
Exactly. The app stores are going to die. They're going to die. They're not going to exist in the future. You can forget it. So I mean, now this is just maybe a warning signal. Maybe the universe is telling us to stop fucking around with this. I'm sorry excuse my French, but if we can make it available in web, and then that's just basically it. That's probably the way we should be going, right? If it's responsive for phone and it looks good on the phone, at the end, that's all we need. It needs to look good on the phone. We have that possibility, so we're good to go, basically.
That's why a lot of these AI, they don't even have apps. Like there's so much, for lack of a better word, I guess. Well, what would you call it?
So 90% of companies don't have apps because if you're using keys, right, and secret info, apps are like technically breakable, and you should like see the keys. Like the rabbit, you can open the rabbit in the code and see that they're using OpenAI, and you can see the key.
Oh my gosh.
That's why web is the best.
But it's also kind of like extortion, especially Apple. You know, they extort you for the developer license. They extort you for
that's true. That's a whole different.
For the 30% of whatever. Like, you know, with Apple, if you have sign in with Google and you're trying to publish an iOS app, they require you to also have sign in with Apple.
You know, for one of our apps, Alicia had to remove sign in just so Apple shuts up. So you can't actually register. You can only log in. Register is on the web in one of our apps because Apple wants 30%, and they want
of whatever subscription,
and they want Apple. They want Alicia to rewrite the login to use Apple login.
Yeah,
they're out of their minds. But I mean, Kirk is right. Maybe they're really just maybe they're really just focusing on VR, AR, XR, because I mean the Apple Vision.
They have rules, and they want you to follow their rules in their walled garden. If you don't like it, you could leave.
Crazy.
Well, they don't want you to build these multi-platform apps. They want you to build iOS apps, Mac apps, iPad apps.
And my favorite, you get a discount on the percent if it's exclusively only on Apple.
I've
been dealing with that for 30 years, so I'm behooved to build new systems that are not Apple centric. This is insane.
I have a question, Kirk. So now if you think about the Apple Vision Pro, right? So also there, you're going to need programs that you can run, games, other interactive, whatever, right? But people that use the Apple Vision Pro, they're going to need apps to run so that they can actually use it for stuff. How does that look? Where are these kind of apps being built? How does
that?
Apple is go ahead.
In their garden.
So this is what Apple created in terms of the infrastructure behind actually building behind all this. All of these apps are very similar. So every app ever developed for an iPad is now a Vision Pro app. So it's not really like they promise, millions of apps supported by the Vision Pro, but it's an app that's an iPad app. So it's a flat app. It doesn't really use any of the spatial capabilities of Apple Vision Pro. And what ends up happening is essentially just like another screen, just like you run it on your phone and you swipe up to switch between apps, except here you're running it on, 3 different windows in front of you or something like that.
That's so lame.
So for example, if we build this app right now on iOS, that means you can build the same app for Apple Vision Pro. Their main thing is, it's like, there's a million apps, but there are a million flat apps that don't even need to be in AR.
Exactly.
I can do this on my.
You're right.
Well, there are some apps that are built specifically for the Vision Pro, but it takes investment, it takes time, and
you start building one and you got far, but they just keep changing things.
they keep changing things. And in the beginning when I started building, it was very buggy, the development process. Like things weren't working. Like for example, I wanted to do audio input just like this app, and it would say, "Oh, well, actually, in the emulator, audio input doesn't work." But then it would have all sorts of issues trying to launch it to the actual device when we tried.
Just allow you to do like camera access. That was last week. That you actually have developed.
Which is crazy. Here's this device that has 8 cameras. It's camera on every side of the device, and you're only now getting camera access.
That was last week. Real time.
So it's not, it's nowhere near in terms of, let's say, engagement, nowhere near close to the Quest. And terrible battery life. It overheats. It's heavy.
It's fun though.
Fun doing what? Watching 3D movies? And for example, I can't wear it. I have glasses, right?
Oh, yeah,
and prescriptions, we didn't do the prescriptions because more than one person is going to wear this device and try it out.
Unlike they changed a part of the inside.
Oh goodness! So it's forced. So the guys would have to be forced through looking at it through my eyes. And it's just one of those things where I can't really use it in every day for coding because even though great screens, great latency, but at the end of the day, the problem becomes is I still can't read.
Right.
Like unless I have glasses, it's not actual spatial computing because unlike the HoloLens, you're still looking at the screen. If you look at something like the HoloLens or the Magic Leap, these are actual holograms being rendered, in the 3D space, and it maps everything. But here it just maps everything and uses high resolution, high density screens. And those screens, they get hot. That's the problem of a VR headset,
Right.
is you have a screen in your head, versus something like HoloLens where it's see-through, it's light. It's light as air almost. What else is there? But what? Great 3D movies. If you bought a $3,500 headset to watch the new Avatar movie, it looks great.
How heavy is it though on your head?
I would say it's pretty heavy. After about 30 minutes, you start to feel it, and the headband it's not very well balanced. The headband is actually extremely light, and like when you tighten it, it feels like if I tighten it too much, it starts to rip. But I don't think that's the case. And the other strap that they include, just as bad. It's not much better. It just gives you a headache.
So a 2-hour movie really isn't even that great enjoyable because it starts to get annoying on your head then.
Through a 2-hour movie. And unlike a laptop, if you have like 6 different windows open, it does start to slow down. If it dies, that's it. Like you can't see through it. It's not a HoloLens.
Oh.
If it dies, it just goes black.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's that. I mean, I wonder where they're going to go. I mean, we have Meta, and they have their, what is it called? Vision Quest? No, what is it called?
I forget.
Quest 3.
So how much does that thing cost? $350? And versus Apple Vision Pro, even though latency and all the things, I understand that, right? But I don't know. Apple, I don't know. Steve Jobs, will Apple go down too soon? Steve Jobs is not anymore.
Well, if we were to look at like the $3,500 headset market and what you actually get in it, it's not VR. VR is not the $3,500 market. It's the AR mixed reality headsets like HoloLens. That's a $3,500 headset, and that's what you kind of have to compete with. And they did something that was VR and completely overpriced for what they're doing, because you can go look at one of these Chinese headsets like I think it's Pimax or something like that, and they have headsets that are even higher resolution for cheaper, for half the price. That's my biggest thing is the fact that it's still a VR headset with the constraints that a VR headset has, such as battery, such as being able to see through it, such as latency, right? because no matter how much they fix the latency, there is still latency. You're still looking at real life through a screen. And what I noticed is when I was in highlight areas, right, somewhere where there's a lot of light, like we have this room where it just has a bunch of windows and light shines right through, there's a lot of distortion. There's a lot of issues with like the actual color and color accuracy. And for $3,500, that's I don't know, a ripoff. Nick is saying it seems a little scammy. If I can get something that already has like a library of entertainment, like with Quest for $500, and if you get Quest 2, which is worse headset, older headset, but still supports a lot of things. I mean, that's like $200 nowadays. And also a bit easier to develop for. I would say there's a lot more things to get started with in Unity that supports Quest versus Apple Vision Pro, of course. But man, yeah, when we first saw the commercial, we thought it would be holographic, just like HoloLens, especially at that price point. But to release a VR headset for $3,500, it's not really that useful. And it doesn't have the same VR capabilities as Meta. If I was to connect Meta to my desktop, it would start playing some of the higher intensity games. You can start multitasking. I mean, you could do that too with Vision Pro, but even when I connect it to a Mac, it only gives me one screen, so I can't have multiple screens. It's just a lot of quirks for that amount of money that shouldn't exist. But hopefully they do a V2, and hopefully we can upgrade and give in our V1 headset for a V2 headset for a small fee, because I mean the AppleCare complete ripoff. It's like $100 AppleCare,
Yep.
and you still gotta pay for replacement if you break something. But yeah, that's my Apple Vision Pro rant. Sorry guys.
No, that's
You're good.
good. That's good. I mean, the thing is just, oops.
This is coming from somebody who actually we spent the money, we got the headset, we even tried to develop for it.
I think you can even buy every VR headset that is out that's available, and it still won't quantify the price point that the Apple Vision Pro is at. You can get Google, you can get the HTC Vive, you can get the PlayStation VR, all these headsets combined, and it still won't surpass that price point, which is just obnoxiously very overrated, and it's just not something that you can kind of, realistically expect consumers to pay for. It's absurd. But I don't even think there's going to be a second version, to be honest, though.
You don't think? No?
No, because they're going to lose so much money, and people are just going to, rather buy a $500 VR headset and actually do something with it.
Right. I wonder what their return rate, what the rate was for how many people who returned it.
It was a lot.
I believe it.
But it also died so fast, the trend.
Oh
The
yeah,
Apple Vision.
right? Super fast. I feel the same thing with the rabbit, right, Cher? I mean, I don't even see anybody talking about it at all. At least in the spaces that I go, like even on Twitter feed or nothing. I really don't see a lot of people talking about it anymore. I mean, Alex Finn talked about it for a little bit, and was using it. Scoble, I don't even see Scoble posting about really wearing his headset that much.
I know Scooby's such a fanboy too.
Yeah.
Scobble's a tech enthusiast. He advocates for any innovation in that space in the VR AR because it's something that has been a struggle in the last decades of all different headsets, all different companies either dying out or trying to go for something more like Magic Leap, trying to go something more like business oriented. Yeah. Where there's some application.
We haven't even heard from Magic Leap 2. just as consumers. I would say the first one, was very consumer focused. They had partnerships with Weta, and Weta was pumping so much content. They had partnerships with NBA, CNN, everything consumer focused. But Magically 2, we didn't even hear about it coming out. It was so. I guess they went case by case. They went to each business and built something for each business, something probably along the lines of like an interactive 3D viewer or something. Holland's is like the only semi-successful one, actual military uses it, but I heard it's kind of
Which
trash.
one?
HoloLens, I heard it's not that great. Like even the military use, like they delivered to the military and it was kind of useless.
Not good feedback.
And that's a $500 million contract that they fulfilled. But NASA's happy with it.
Yeah.
No, NASA's been using it for a decade or so now.
But using it for like education was really good too.
Oh yeah.
Immersive learning, a lot of like ways you can apply HoloLens in a classroom. Where Apple Vision Pro, good luck.
Nice.
The person's gonna put it on and click things.
You have to look up. You really have to look out.
Sure.
It's the dumbest UI to exist, but it's understandable. They've been known for making weird products like the Magic Mouse. No ergonomics whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard of the Magic Mouse.
Oh, you have every Mac computer comes with it.
Oh, really? I didn't even know.
That's called the Magic Mouse, and
Oh.
you have to charge it and not be able to use it. That's how dumb it is.
That's ridiculous.
That's crazy. Yeah, but yeah. Go ahead.
Well, one of these spaces we should do a Vision Pro app.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. You know what I mean? Something, yeah. But then we would have to go through this dumb process of paying,
I'm thinking retro, using AI to build Windows Media Player skins.
Oh, that's
My
fun.
God. Yeah.
I mean, we have all these, we have, what was I using? Remember, Alisher, where you shared a couple of avatar game developer apps that were actually for free? They weren't, it depends on probably how much you want to do there, but you can.
It's like Ready Player Me. It was the one. It's pretty cool. Yeah, like integrates into all sorts of VR stuff.
We should do something like that in the future. I mean, we have a couple of plans, because I do want
We should.
yeah, but we should do something like that too, because I mean, that's the future. So Kirk is totally right there. We should definitely do one of those things in one of our spaces. But I'm thinking about now when we finish this project, if we can really maybe move towards a more functional chatbot, not just one that just speaks, maybe trying to learn to build agentic workflow and then integrate that into an app, that you have a functional, something that does a different purpose, like really supports you with your work.
So someone came to me, just a friend from Twitter, and they asked me. They were like, they work in a sorry, brain fart. They work in a delivery service for materials. So they were like, can you? He was like, my boss every day does estimates from starting point to picking up material to dropping off material and then back to the starting point. And he's like, can you create like a bot that will basically like calculate distances and money and costs that I forget how much it was, like 200 an hour or something. I think they charged. He's like, that's something that I could probably sell to my boss for like $5,000 or something. I don't know what he was thinking, but still, he was like, and I felt like that was something simple enough to be able to build. I didn't get to start to talk to AI Tutor about it, but just that made me, what you said, Cher, made me think of something like functional like that we could, even like create some type of something that could be useful towards different businesses, like yeah, I thought that was like something that wouldn't be too hard, because I think of Brad, and how all with his solar panels and everything, because I'm sure all the time put into that. But uh, yeah, I got to start talking to AI Tutor to see about building that.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a good idea. I mean, we can, if I just don't know how fast you want to do it. You can already look into it, but we can probably, look for a use case and then just try to, build
Yeah.
a flow and then have something like that that we can then deploy to, that goes a little bit past just the chatbot that just speaks with you, something that is a little bit more functional when it comes to our everyday life and what we do, if it's taking care of emails or whatever, right? Because
Right.
all of these tools, if it's Make or so, and I mean, even AI Tutor, it's built on top of agents, right? So that's something that we can also definitely look into and see if we can, make something happen there, figure out something and then just try to build it with an LLM.
Oh yeah, yeah, because it's easy to talk to AI Tutor, but still, yeah, still not being like a coder and still being so beginner of it. I'm like, okay, it still shows you that you need humans. You know what I mean? Like for Alisher and Nick and Ross to just walk you through some of the things. It makes it so much easier. So I'm super lucky to have you guys. But yeah, maybe share. Maybe we can come up with a cool like a use case like that, like workflows or something.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, but I mean, our conclusion today is the following. We're going to focus on web, and of course, phone is not a bad thing, but if we can really make it just responsive for phone, I do believe that apps are going to die out. And of course, we have now Apple Vision Pro, and you still have to build apps to align with it and use the Apple Vision Pro. It still needs apps, but I don't know.
I'm trying to remember. I saw it on. Oh, go
I
ahead,
think,
Kirk. Sorry. Go ahead.
well, I think the distribution method is going to change. I don't think it's going to be, paywalled stores. I think there'll be a larger number of certified people that make apps, and you will also have instructions on how to make your own apps with your own AI tools. So in other words, if you need an app to do something, you will use an AI tool which already has modules, packs, and other information to build that for you on demand.
That makes sense.
That's what I
Yeah.
see potentially happening.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I wish I could find the damn. I think it was definitely on Twitter. It was an advertisement that I had saw somewhere, and it was this guy talking about them creating appless phones and how they're gonna try and how it may be a little difficult to get people to steer away from that because everybody's so used to apps. But I wish I could find that. I think if I like,
Well,
God,
the crazy part is that the apps are effectively a folder containing a bunch of different files, and that's effectively so many lines of code. And if if the token count isn't too expensive, it's not a very long process to have an AI tool code out all of the files that you need. So it's I have to do more experiments with like 40 mini and see, like they say it's cheaper and does a good job. If it can actually do what they say, then that would be the future of apps, is using an LLM, local or otherwise, or cloud service to build out utilities that you need. And if they need to run on a device, they'll run on a device. If the most expedient thing is to run web, they will run web. You know, in general, like if you look at the progression of X's web app development, it's pretty amazing as well.
Hmm.
You should take a look at it. Like all of like the advanced functions are not available in Android. You actually have to go to the web app to get all the advanced functions on on the X app. That includes like Media Studio Pro, all yeah, anything that you actually need to make the tool functionality highly useful, including scheduling. Like it's, you know, the app itself doesn't have that ability, so it's going to be really interesting how things go forward. But I do see a lot more people building their own apps custom from certified or trusted AI tools. Like you have a trusted AI tool that you use, like like AI Tutor might be able to do that in the future. I mean, my experience with artifacts in the last 48 hours tells me that. I mean, I built games that deploy to web apps, and that will run local without any server support, just on out of HTML and JavaScript. So yeah, it's really wild.
It sure is, yeah. Well, yeah, so we're going to focus a little bit more on web build, I would say. What do you think, Alisher?
Well, I think web is a good start, and then for Android and iOS, if you want to go that route, it's just like setting up Android Studio and Xcode away. It's like a few steps away from you actually getting it to the store. And for Android, as soon as you install Android Studio, you're able to build and get that Android package file. And then I'm thinking
for your own. You can build your own apps for your own friends and stuff, right? If you set your Android phone in developer mode, and you can sideload it, so everybody who has an Android.
And check this out. So if you guys are watching live stream, there's a quick website where you can actually distribute these. So there's a website called Diawi. Let me go to it so I can spell it out. This website right here. Am I still streaming? Yeah. Okay. So this website allows you to upload your app and then share your app.
Oh, cool. I'm still stuck on.
So
Oh, there you go. There.
Diawi. Diawi. And so when you run that Flutter build APK or Flutter build IPA for iOS, and it actually works for you, unlike me, you'll actually be able to upload, because Flutter apps are also pretty light. So let's see, Reveal Finder. This app is, how big is this app? This app is 30 megabytes. That's pretty light for a modern app, I'd say. This will create a QR code that you can share or a link that you can share. This is super useful. You can also put iOS apps here. So if you have an iOS app file, you can just drop it in here, and it will kind of look like you're downloading it from a store, or like if you ever see, the jailbreak stores. Yeah, it's completely free. It gets past, I think, the Apple Store requirement, so you don't have to be on the App Store.
Look at you, Alisher. You smart dude, you. So,
Yeah, this is a Ross discovery from ages ago.
wow.
When we contribute something. And you can scan this QR code. This will download my app on your phone.
Oh, wow.
I'm actually right now.
What kind of file does it have to be? An APK file? What the hell is that? Oh, I'm sorry. What is that?
APK is an Android package file.
Okay, an Android package file. Okay. That's what I get from Android Studio Code, right? Or Android, whatever you call it. How do I get such a file? I don't get it. Where did you pull that from? Is that a dumb question? Is Sharon asking a dumb question?
No, not at all.
You know me. A lot of dumb questions.
Never. No, I don't think you ever ask any dumb questions. Your questions are always good. I learn from them.
Oh, thank you, Morgan.
There you go. Oh man, process X almost crashed.
Oh
So
shit.
watch out if you're installing an app like this. It might give you some issues.
Oh wow.
So, but where did you pull the APK file from?
So when I ran the command, so the command is flutter build APK. Let me go back to it.
Oh, look at you, a new command. There we go.
So if
There
you have Android Studio, this is where you need Android Studios to actually get an app file.
That's what I was
Flutter,
about to ask. So I need Android Studio. Okay.
yeah, Flutter build APK. It will build you the APK file and it'll give you the link to it, right? So
Uh,
it gives you where it is in the directories. Like,
oh. So, and but that only works, but where do I need Android Studio? Well, I mean, I'm building it in Android Studio and then I run it through.
you can build it here. You can build it here. You don't even need to open Android Studio. You need Android Studio because it has tools. Like it has the Android tools for building.
Well, I have to, well, when we go through that process, because I deleted everything, because you remember I messed up everything. So when we go through the deployment phase, right, I just need to make sure that I put Android Studio back on because I
Yep.
don't have it right now. Android Studio, I have to maybe download that. What are we going to do next week, my dear?
Um, we can
Shall we
really
work with
do. I'm
design?
down for anything. Design, sure. We can go for that.
Let's play with designing our app and see what capabilities Flutter offers us. Maybe we can
Oh,
just,
cool.
yeah, that would be cool because then we can make some nice images, maybe, right? I mean, we only have the chatbot, so there's not much happening there. I'm thinking if there would be, you know what we could do? I know what a cool idea is. Let's make a journal, right? A journal inside the app that we can access through voice, so speech to text. Is that a good idea, Alisher?
I like that idea, and I think I have the perfect API for it.
See,
Um,
so we have that bot, right? Then we have a little journal that someone can just speak, make a diary if they want when they talk to their chat bot. I don't know what other function we could maybe, I mean, we might want to have the chats somehow saved, right? That the
we,
people can access it, right? So that they can save their chat. And then a journal. Yeah, that would be cool. And they can maybe integrate that into the chat, into the journal, and write their thoughts or speak their thoughts on it without interacting with the chatbot. What do
yeah,
you think?
so I think if we keep going with this mindful theme, we'll get rid of the scientists for now. We'll have our, talk to the therapist. We'll have our journal where you can mindfully take notes of whatever it is you need to take notes of throughout the day. Uh,
Uh-huh.
and then we can have history, right? So previous conversations, previous journal entries, and we'll figure out how we will do history. Something with like local host, where it's not sent anywhere and it doesn't cost anything.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
yeah, for the voice, for the voice to text part, speech to text part, I think we can go with something like Telegram. It's not Whisper. Whisper's a little expensive, but with I think it's Telegram. I'll check it out. I'll find it. We've used it before, and it's very good and cheap. And they give you like 200,000 characters or something like that a month that you can play around with for free.
That's super awesome. Because then we can really build this little therapy app. Because then, if we wanted to, we could maybe take it even a step further that you can enter your details, how good I mean, you can maybe just put it in the journal. Maybe we can have a little, but we'll figure that out as we go. Because then the person could maybe just different kind of journals, like maybe we can guide the people a little bit so that they share maybe a journal, how they slept, what they were dreaming about, how they feel in the morning, stuff like that. We don't have to then rely completely just on the chatbot. The chatbot would be just one feature, but it can be a complete tool that people can use to just navigate their life, I think that's cool. I need to think about it a bit more too,
Yeah.
because you can really build a nice little mindful app for them that that would be super awesome.
I think we'll go. Yeah, we'll go there next. We'll see how many of these features we'll be able to integrate next time. I think next time we'll just go, feature after feature.
Yeah,
We'll
exactly. We'll come up with ideas as we build it out, right? So I would say we focus a bit on design. I can see if I can make some better logos, right? I'll work on that. Morgan, you could maybe do some logos too. Then we can just, bring them
Sure,
together
yeah.
and then choose, right? And
Yeah,
see,
yeah.
So we can maybe make some logos. Alisher, if you want us to do anything else, let us know. We'll take care of it. I don't want you to do everything. So whatever you can pass on to us. I mean, you're the master of the project. You know how to, develop everything. But if you can if you want us to do something, just let us know. We'll do it.
Yeah, I'll let you know. And I think before next week, I'll probably also update it with some foundational things that we'll need to start next week. And maybe we could even add something from FAL, some sort of like image generation or something.
Yeah, why not? Because the SD3, is it still cheap? I don't know. Maybe, I don't know, Flux, I don't know. We can figure that out. That would be cool too.
I mean, FAL has all of them, and it has some video stuff too, and it has some audio stuff. And I think they also give you $10 for free when you sign up.
That's cool. I mean, that's really a good idea because then we have a complete little thing. And then we could maybe at the end of this just, if someone wants to use it, I don't know, we can maybe gift it to someone, do a
We'll
little,
publish it.
someone could then publish it, that would be really awesome to
Yeah.
track that and see if it gets traction. That would be super awesome. Right? We can then launch it as a group then, right? We just bring it out and then see
Yeah.
how it goes. That's a really good idea. I like that.
I'll invite you guys to the development team so you can manage the app too.
Or we'll just put it on the marketplace and sell it. And then we'll just, what you guys were talking about yesterday. I don't know if you sell apps to people or I don't know, but yeah, whatever.
Oh, like the template, put it on one of these code template marketplaces and sell it. Okay.
Yeah, we can think about it, right? Or maybe we'll just use it as a test project and see if people resonate with it and make it our own. I mean, the only thing is just the token situation, right? So people are going to have to pay something for it, because if they want to use the tokens, let's say voice and all of that, but this could be a complete start to finish deploy, bring to the market and analyze. You know what I mean?
And we have the tools for it, all these marketplaces, they'll give you the tools to analyze, push updates, even collect feedback, especially TestFlight.
I think that's really cool for us because, I mean, we're putting all this work into it. Maybe we should just really bring it out to market and test it and make it nice,
Yeah, right.
and make it usable, because I think, you have a chat bot, you have your journal, then we can put some cool features in it, right, that no other app has. Like what I was saying, you don't necessarily need, these stupid iWatches. Yeah, they track your stuff, but they don't explain anything. They don't give you any guidance on it. You know what I mean? And I just have all of that. I have all of that. I've been working with humans for 13 years now, right? So we could totally go that far and bring out this therapy app and just make it nice and really functional for people. And it's not even going to be that expensive. I bet you people are they're going to probably not pay more than $10 a month for it. I don't think it's going to be that expensive because, I mean, we're using the free, it works quite well. It was fast. I don't know if we have to bump it up that the chatbot reacts faster, but it wasn't bad. Right?
No, the biggest limitation there is just like 11 Labs. 11 Labs is slightly slow, but that's expected. You still get a response and it still streams, and you pretty much get it almost real time.
I mean, people can always turn it off, right? You know, maybe I can maybe also maybe make a own voice. Let's see. Maybe I can play with that and make a own voice because I just don't like the 11 Labs voices when it comes to therapy.
Well, if you make a voice in Magic, I'm able to see it on the TSI account.
Oh, cool. So I can make a voice on Magic. Okay, that's cool. I didn't even know that. So I can make a voice on Magic. I'll do that. So I'll do the logo thing, Morgan, you too. And if you want to, I mean, if you guys want to
Yeah.
make a voice too, and then we can just see which one is the best. Or you guys can think about what kind of journal, what would we want to add, what feature would be really awesome that doesn't necessarily need the chat bot, something aside, right? Because it would be cool if the person could track that themselves, that they have a little bit empowerment, that they are kind of pushed to do something, not just stupidly talk to the chat bot all day, really do something. And maybe we can have our chat bot also guide them in that direction, that we change the system prompt, right? And really give after every talk, right? After every conversation. I don't know how easy that is, but we can maybe do it that way every time. I don't know. I don't know if that works. We have to talk to Alisher about that. But that the chat bot guides the person and tells the person, well, today you're going to do this, right? And then the next
Right.
time the person speaks to the chat bot, well, you're going to do this, right? Because remember what Lucas said in the last space, right? When we were talking about this therapy thing. You know, it's good to talk with a chat bot, but if the chat bot is not really giving you instructions that you really apply into real life, what is that chat bot actually going to do for you? Nothing. You're going to talk to it for hours and you're not going to get a step further. You know
So
what
what
I
about,
mean?
yeah, no, definitely. So trying to keep on like the therapist idea, what about like and this may be off, but what about like a dream journal or something that you could
Ah, yeah. A
put your
sleep,
dreams
yeah.
into, and then your therapist can talk to you about
Exactly,
stuff
because
like
if
that.
you have the dream, you're right, Morgan, because if you write down the stuff, you can feed that back to your chatbot. I just want to make sure, I just don't want anyone to read the stuff. So if we're calling API through Open Router, I don't know if they track all of that. You know what I mean? That's just something.
They
Right.
don't. They don't. You can select not to track.
Okay, cool. So, because I don't want the data of the client to be leaked. Man, this is
No, that
awesome,
makes sense.
people. You see how we get to, so ideas, we come together, we build stuff, and we come up with ideas. This is what building in public is all about.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, I think that would be cool. Doing like a dream journal and having your therapist like guide you, like
You have your sleep
to
track,
future.
not the stupid
Right.
iWatch, because what does the iWatch really give you? Okay, it tracks your sleep, and then what else does it? I
What
mean,
does it do for you
seriously,
then?
what does it do for you?
You're
Okay,
right.
it
You're
tracks your
right.
sleep. Oh, you got to go to bed now. Okay, it gives you alarm. Okay, you got to go to bed. Well, that's great. Okay, so am I going to pay, seriously, am I going to pay? I don't know even how much an iWatch costs, right?
I don't know. I don't
It
have
might
one.
have value for people, of course. I'm not saying it doesn't have any value, but really changing a person's life in the sense of the person is really working with its own thoughts and its emotions and all of these things that really make us who we are. I think that's what a real therapist, a real AI therapist at that moment should do for the person.
No, I agree. I think it's a good idea. I think it's cool.
That's cool. I love that. Well, are we done with class today, Alisher?
Yeah, we could wrap up today, and then I think next Friday when we come back in, I'll make sure the repo is updated with some new features that I can knock out before the space, and then all the big stuff we'll do during the space. But we'll play around with it too, because now once we create something like history, well, now your chatbot can have all this history and parse all this history that you're putting in, like your journal entries and whatnot. And I definitely think making it actionable, to where it directly applies to the person, and converts into actions, is definitely useful. And maybe something we can also look into is some push notifications. Maybe throughout the day, sending some notifications to the person.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
that'll be cool.
Like a reminder, like don't forget to write in your journal today type
Yeah,
reminders,
yeah,
or like
something like that. Something like that. Or hey, you haven't checked in with your mindful app in a long time.
yeah. No, that's cool.
Awesome. Oh gosh, I love this. Man, this is so cool.
And Sharon, quick thing before we do wrap up is, do you have access to the beta link for Pixio? You know, that long link?
Wait a minute, I got a couple links. I'm not sure.
So the link I am talking about, let me see what it is. It has a special name. It's one of the August updates. It's the one that says it says August patch 1 on top.
Let me see. Let me go to TSI. So where is he? August. No, I think, no, I only have, the last link I got was Podcraft 1, alignment and AI research.
Let's see.
Those are the only ones.
Let me go to it. I'll send you a link to it because I did add Flux with Laura.
Yeah, see, we wanted to actually, we're definitely going to do a live stream together that you can walk me through the process because that's going to be cool for everybody else, right? I just don't know if I'm going to be able to do it today because I got to hop on a call with Ross to finish the mag.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, that's why I'm saying I'll send you a link so you can just play around with it, and then
Okay.
whenever you want to do a live stream, we'll all hop in.
Yeah, so I think I might do it tomorrow, but no, we have TSI tomorrow. No, we can't, ITT tomorrow. Well, we'll see. We'll see. We can maybe do it on Monday.
We'll do like an ITT after.
Oh yeah, we
show.
can do after ITT. Yes, exactly. So we can jump in Kirk's
Always has
space.
like an after space.
Yeah, we'll do Kirk's after space and then we'll do it then, maybe, if you guys want to. What are your thoughts, Kirk?
Whatever is necessary.
We'll do
Yeah,
even more demos after the ITT demos.
yeah. Are you guys going to represent the
Demos and
Lauras? Are you
demos.
guys going to represent the Lauras in the demo?
Probably not,
Too
because I
much.
just put them straight in Pixio.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, then we'll just do it in the after space. That's cool. That's a good idea.
I think there's some people who are asking for some music tutorials, like how to prompt. It'd be awesome if we could figure something out. Right, but I didn't hear what you said.
I said even better. It's even more Pixio related.
Yeah, because if we could do that, I know Cash Money Kev is interested. I know of at least 4 or 5 people who are really interested in it, and Dan as well.
You said tutorial
and I've had some
for
success
Songcraft.
Yeah, Songcraft. Different ways. Some of these really strange prompting architectures and ways that you can modify the output so that you get your instrumental every time, or you get
Oh yeah, we should definitely do that. I was actually
different things. Yeah.
I saw Nick creating some dubstep and some electric music the other day.
Oh, look at you, Nick. You better give me the prompt. You better.
Well, I figured out how to get it consistently to produce classical music, like really good in symphonic classical music, and I kind of want to dig deeper into like how that works and like what the best architecture is. Because it actually, I mean, the crazy part is one time I was able to prompt it to get a theremin to play. It only happened once, and I've been having a hard time getting it to come back again, even with the same tags. But yeah, there's ways to prompt just some really interesting music, that's for sure.
This sounds so interesting. I mean, look at this. This is so cool. I love that. Yeah, I definitely want to dive into the music and learn from you guys because I haven't done anything. I don't have that much time, but I'll follow your lead.
I don't have much time. I just make time, and then when I get to sit down for a session, like I'll probably generate an hour's worth of music in terms of doing tests to find out if the prompt architecture is actually working.
Are you telling me I'm
Right,
lazy,
and
Kurt?
if it is working, then I send it
Are you
on.
telling me I'm
But yeah,
procrastinating? Are you telling me now I'm procrastinating?
I'm not telling you you're procrastinating. I'm saying just
I'm just playing with you.
sometimes you just got to be like, I got a mission. I'm going to spend 45 minutes doing this.
I got a mission
or maybe
magazine. That's my only mission here, I tell you.
and I'm on that mission too. So
Yeah, magazine is number one. Then comes Comfy and all the AI tutor stuff. And then this
well, the
Friday
website
space. And the website. See,
yeah.
oh my gosh, I got 4
So
minutes.
magazine, website
Oh my
thing,
God.
then we get to dig into companies. But it's fun to actually take and jump back and forth
Love
between
it.
them a little bit
Yeah,
take a break.
it gives you
Because
creativity.
usually when you're working on one thing, you get ideas for the
Yep,
next.
that's exactly how it goes. You don't get that tunnel vision, right? Because if you're just focused on one thing the whole time, people might call that chaotic if you jump back and forth, but that's how I roll. That's my life. I do not like sticking with one thing the whole time because then where's my creative input coming from? Right? I mean, I go outside, I walk my dogs, I do other stuff, but when it comes to all of this, playing around with different AI tools simultaneously just gives you that creative flow. So I'm fully with you, Kirk.
Yeah, I mean, there's other things too, like within the company, within VideoGen, like making projects. Like there's Joseph Malozzi, the showrunner for Stargate SG-1 and Dark Matter, is interested in what we're doing at Pixio.
Wow.
Like what Pixio is doing.
Wow.
Like, and when I say like what we're doing, like people who are using the applications and creating media, and he was interested that the realistic video avatars were coming through the pipeline, because all these little things are pieces of being able to put together an entire AI driven production.
Wow.
From an end. Yeah, so once you get a really good strong control net within something that generates very consistently like Flux does, then opportunity to build some really generative, like what they were saying Sora was going to do but never did, right?
Yeah.
Real watchable content, starting out short, but I mean, you got to remember the original films that were made by Edison were short, so if you can come up with a 3 minute, a compelling 3 minutes of narrative with music, and that's all AI generated, and it's actually edited and structured properly, it's going to be an amazing thing to have done. And I've seen some people getting closer and closer, but it's not, it's really not there. Nobody's delivered like a film festival winning short at this point.
Do you follow what's his name? Manuel I don't even know how to say this darn word. No, his name is Nick, not what am I doing? No, his name is not Nick either. What am I talking about? Let me see if I can find him. Nicholas. Do you follow Nicholas Neubert? I can only say it German. He's a German, so I always say the name in German. Do you follow him, Kirk? I am, let me send you his handle. Have a look. I mean, he's working with Runway, but he works at Runway, but he does cool stuff. I really like his stuff. Let me just send it over to you. You can have a look. Maybe you're already following him. Who knows? Yeah, just check him out. Yeah, awesome.
I might be. There's a high probability that I am, but
Probably.
it's I see all the video and all the content coming down from Runway, and I've seen a couple of things that have been cut together, but nobody's gone ahead and put all the sound design work into it and or mixed the music or done all the stuff that's required. Like there's a process to make, some what we watch as feature films, and I see a lot of, like dev type people or, creative media people making video clips that have motion, but they're not going through the process of filmmaking to make it into, either a serial or a episodic or a short film. I know that digital, California, what do they call it again? Digital something or other. But anyway, they build their own custom AI tools, and they've done some projects. Um, I'll have to come up with the names. That'll be for another session. Like I'll definitely have a conversation about that. But you can basically, like you can build your film stills in Flux at this point, and reference, like build compositions and also build composite compositions. You don't even have to just use Flux alone. You can always take this into a graphic design tool, Canva or Photoshop, and then layer your stacks, create your digital mat, and then bring that into a text to video, and then start working with that text to video to see if you can get it to go where you need it to go. And then there's a bunch of other stuff you can do on top of that, like potential to like set elements up in a green screen environment. So like maybe I haven't experimented with this yet. Taking a ship and putting a key behind it, or like and then having that ship do a movement within VideoGen, and then doing the composite based upon that output and setting up layers to make that work. So haven't tried that yet, but I think there's ways to increase the quality with the tools we have and make some really amazing stuff. And then if you build apps and such, and you build your own distribution means, then you have a way to get your content out to people. It's also another consideration.
Well, that's why we're doing this all parallel. It all comes together. This is why we're doing this. This is all coming together, right? Building cool stuff and then bringing it out. That's basically why we're doing what we're doing, right? We're actually just an extension of what the ITT come together, form the ideas, learn about this stuff, and then taking it all to the next step. I mean, we're all helping one another, and we're having through that a network, right, that just goes from start to finish, right, from idea to impact at the end of the day. And that
Yeah, and if you can have an app or something that loads on, that people trust to load onto their devices that are, part of your newsletter or otherwise, then it provides the opportunity to actually get the distribution that X sometimes interferes with, or otherwise, like all social media platforms interfere with. Like they want to watch the most recent content that you have put out, and they're not going to see it in their feed based on an algorithm. So you can defeat the algorithm by building your own tools.
This is amazing. I wanted to say something, but I forgot. I wanted to say something to Alicia, but I forgot. That's how it goes sometimes. Well, people, I'm going to have to hop on a call with Ross. We have to finish some things because I'm so excited. And I am going to order a couple of magazines today, it seems.
Nice.
So next week, I'm going to have the first copies of the mag. And yeah, I am looking so forward to this. It is going to be
Super cool.
amazing. I'm so happy. And maybe Kirk will be well, no, I don't think we're going to be faster because it's almost, what do we got? August 15th, October 1st. Yeah, so 6 weeks, I would say we will have the first copy. We'll see. All we got to do is web page marketing, and then well, not only, but then we're done. That's going to be.
Yeah, it goes faster, and then we have templates for everything.
Yes.
So everything I've worked on so far, I've got, structure for future with the net style anyway.
Yeah, it's gonna,
So,
yeah, I just have to do the
yeah.
accounts. I'm gonna take care of that all next week and then already start to get content out. Morgan, then we can maybe have a talk.
Yeah.
With the marketing concept, just
Sure.
we're really gonna go. I mean, it's gonna be Facebook, it's gonna be Instagram, it's gonna be LinkedIn, it's gonna be X, it's gonna be a couple of places. I
Yeah,
don't
whenever
know.
you're ready. Whenever you're ready.
I don't know if Reddit makes sense at this point. I have absolutely no idea what to think about Reddit. What's the other one? Not Reddit. What's the other one? Yeah,
Quora.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Quora.
Sorry. I was like, blah, 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 on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, but the interesting part with Reddit and Quora, it gets a lot of reach, and when you enter it in Google, you always
Yeah.
get a Quora. You always, it's always on top, right? So
Yeah, I'm in both of those a lot. So, definitely I can definitely offer some ideas towards it and just, also go in manually and just start some conversations. That's what most of the time that I do,
yeah,
just answering people's questions, and just basically, stating who I am. And then people with Quora at least, it's kind of like um, you're just a substantial person in this department, so they start excuse me again, throwing you questions, this person asked you this, or answer this question because we feel you may be, uh, what's the word I'm looking for? You may be prominent in that area, so yeah, no, definitely, I'm on both of them. I haven't been too much recently, but I still have accounts with them and stuff like that, and look into Quora and Reddit all the time. So
yeah. Like Ross said, backlinks, baby.
yeah. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, we haven't set up any marketing concept, but yeah, we just did a rough whatever. I just got to get the magazine now printed
Yeah.
and yeah, and have that finished. Well, cool, everybody. Alicia, do you have any closing thoughts? Kirk, Morgan, do you guys have anything that you want to add before we close the space?
I'm super
Excuse me.
excited for next week. I think next week will be really cool. I feel like it's like we're learning new things every week, but this time it's like now it feels like a little more of like an even more bigger goal with it, with what we have been building. So I'm super excited to see,
Yeah.
with the
Everything,
journal and
yes, and it builds all on top. We already learned how to deploy, right? We're going to do another recap with that. I mean, we're repeating this process over and over again, actually. So people need to understand this. If you have this in, right, and you're really good at it, you can make some money with this. Not
right.
your own ideas, making this stuff happen for others. We have a whole process in place, right, that people can use to make some cool stuff with AI. So I'm super excited for this.
Definitely a good idea. It was really cool. Absolutely. Thank you, Alistair. And Nick and Ross, of course. And of course, Sharon and Kirk.
I want to thank you all and everybody that hangs out with us every week.
Yeah.
Listeners, all the people that ask questions. I'm just super thankful. I mean, we're doing this for you guys, right? We're sharing the process of what we have, all the ideas, and this is all for free. We're not taking not 1 cent because we want to empower the people at the end of the day. All the stuff that's going on, and job displacement and all this stuff. We need to have alternatives in place. We just need to have alternatives. I mean, before a robot takes over my Pilates classes, that's going to take a while, but still, I still want to have alternatives, right? I still want to know what else can I do? And I think the future is going to be numerous streams of income. It's just what it is.
All right. Agreed. Absolutely. Life would get boring without it, then.
Yeah, and just imagine you can stir in all kinds of pots. That's just wonderful, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
With all this video gen, avatar building, and all this stuff. I mean, Pixio and AI Tutor, they're just so powerful, these tools, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, cool. Kirk, Alicia, do you guys have any closing thoughts?
I was just gonna say for your website, consider publishing some blog articles. That's great SEO, and you can share the blog
Absolutely.
articles on X, and they'll drive some content. You know, you can get some comments on the articles. Um, that's like free advertising, you know, blog articles.
You're
Yeah.
right. You're right. I'm not even thinking about that. And yeah, you're right. Yep.
And yeah, for Flutter guys, next week we're just gonna start our sprint. And it's just gonna be like a sprint to the finish line of just integrating all these features. So
Yeah.
Even with blog articles, they're great to talk about on Pinterest. Even Pinterest, throwing in Pinterest in there.
Yeah. We have Substack. I think I'm going to do Medium too.
Oh yeah, I do. I
just,
write for Medium. I
just
haven't written in a while, but
do them on your WordPress. Drive traffic to your WordPress. It's like free
yes.
SEO for your WordPress.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. Cool. Kirk, how about you? Any closing thoughts?
No, I just want to thank the team, Pixio and AI Tutor for all their time. I think Alisher is doing an awesome job, and I really appreciate his time and insight on how to use Flutter and build apps. I know I'm learning a lot. I'm getting more familiar with VS Code, and that helps me in all areas. I mean, I was always using it, but I mean, I just have a reason to use it to a much higher level. Um, I've never had a cause to have a Git, um, and so I now have repositories and have done my first uh, pushes and pulls, and starting to use that for exchanging files. We used to always do it during via Google Drives and or I guess in the old days USB keys. So I'm catching up with the times. Yeah, I guess I'm out of the. I got old or something.
Don't we all? That's so funny. Yeah, no, but that's good. I'm super thankful for
So
all of
get
you.
everywhere, you know. Yeah, we should have a discussion more about that, about building your own repository locally on your drive, and you know, like being able to push and pull, um, either using the Git app or doing it within terminal, or VS Code, because it allows you to really just move so quickly. And VS Code is like lightning fast compared to going into cPanel and going in and creating all the files on the server manually. Like you can do that and you can copy and paste, but you can do it inside of VS Code 10 times faster. And then you can push all of that to the server, as well as keep, you know, master duplications of your file sets and folder sets. So you have, you have a working variant of a particular or version set of a, of a design. And when you start to make changes, potentially it breaks, but then you can revert to the functioning version really fast. And in VS Code, the workflow that Alistair has been showing us has really been is functional in that regard. Even compared to using like Dreamweaver and a bunch of other tools that I've used in the past.
That's awesome.
So thank you, and thank you, Sharon, for hosting the wonderful space, and also Morgan.
Yeah, thank you guys for being part of this and all the listeners, everybody that comes by every week and is, open to learning some new stuff. It's not as hard as it seems. I think repetition is what makes the difference. Yeah, and we're here every Friday. So we're going to be back next week. We are going to be building our app out. We have shared a couple ideas a couple minutes ago. We're going to be making some other logos. We are going to maybe work a little bit on design through that. And then we're going to add a journal and some other features too. It's going to be fun.
Super excited. It'll be good. Sorry, my adrenaline isn't up too much today. I've been up since 6 a.m. doing this yard sale thing, and I don't think I got to tell you guys. But Nick, Alisher, and Ross are gonna laugh at me. But I found 3 kittens underneath my house.
Oh,
Yeah, so
how sweet.
took in 3 kittens and they are a wild. So
My
I'm
gosh.
trying to find homes and it's just yeah, it's been nuts. So
How
I woke up
cute.
this morning with a nail in my lip. So
My
it's
gosh.
like you little brat.
I
So
tell you, these cats are crazy. I had, I was taking care of my friend. She was like, well, her cat got kittens, right? So she was,
right,
and she's like, can you please, I'm just going to be gone for 4 days. Can you please take care of my 4 kittens?
right.
They took my whole apartment apart.
Aw.
Gosh. But they're
Yep,
so cute. You can't even get mad at them.
I
It's
know, right?
Man, they were walking up the walls. They took my whole couch apart.
Oh shit.
Oh my gosh, I had scratches everywhere.
I know.
It
Oh man.
was, yep, but hey, it's like, okay, you 4 kittens are so freaking cute. I can't even get mad. Yeah.
I know they are so cute. It's so funny. But yeah. So I apologize about my energy level tonight. I'm normally like, yeah, let's go. I'm like
You're fine, Morgan. It's all good. I didn't even realize it until you said something. I didn't even realize
okay, good.
that your energy levels are down. Okay,
It's
well,
a long day. But
yeah.
lots of
But
fun. Thank you
yeah,
guys.
you guys get some rest and we'll talk soon, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Have a good evening, have a good night, and Ross, you better not go anywhere. I'm not gonna chase you. You
He's
better not
got
go
your back
anywhere.
off.
He's like he's running and I have to chase him.
He's like, I gotta eat a taco. Wait, I gotta go. I gotta. Every time I hear him and he's talking about eating, he's like, it's taco night. I gotta get at my taco.
So funny. Yep, I'm gonna eat dinner now, Sharon. So I'm gonna hang up now. Eat dinner. I'm like, you're eating dinner in the middle of the night, bro. Did you not eat?
Those guys, they're the funniest. They're the funniest because they'll be like, we're hungry. Let's start to make dinner. And like 3 hours later, they're like, okay, let's eat. I'm like, guys, it's so funny because there's always a space or there's always something cool that they're working on or doing, and then they gotta, of course, when I'm there, they're doing some shots and tequila shots. I'm like, aren't you guys hungry? Like 3 hours later, then they eat. Their workforces,
Ross,
man.
I'm
They
gonna
just
beat you up. See, he's gonna
they
call
just
me in
work.
45 minutes. Ross, I'm gonna kill you. But what is
Yeah.
mountain time now? What is mountain time? Are they 2 hours ahead of my time, or what is mountain
So
time?
it's 9:54.
There.
9:54. They're on Eastern
I,
Standard
I
Time. The
think
same time.
Mountain Time is an hour later than you for Mountain Time. We're on Eastern Time. We're in New
Yeah.
York. We're 3 hours away from you.
You better
Yeah.
tell Ross I want to lock in my price. You better not. You better not. If you're not here in 45 minutes, I'm gonna come over there. I swear I'm gonna come over to Michigan or wherever the hell you are to your door, and you better have a bed for me to sleep. I swear to God.
I'll meet you over there, Cher. I'll bring the 3 kittens. I'm only a couple hours away from them, so we'll go beat them. They're up all night working anyway. Those guys, I tell
Yeah,
you, they're
he's
always
gonna have to
working.
keep one. He's gonna have to keep a kitten. I tell you.
I know, right?
God.
Smokey would needs a partner. Another. It looks actually
Okay.
just like Smokey, Alistair.
Oh my gosh. Okay, cool. Well,
Okay,
you guys have a good,
the more fun one.
yeah.
You,
No, both your cats are great. I love both.
Larry needs a kitten to chase. Is that what's going
Little
on?
Larry.
you got two. You got two here, but Smokey
Yeah,
just
yeah, they have
destroyed,
two.
just annihilated a chair we got like a month ago or
Oh
so.
man.
I'll tell you, these cats are wild. They're wild. I tell
Larry
you.
would kill me if I brought over kittens. He'd be like,
Well, you could name the cats Mo and Curly, and then you'd have the Three Stooges.
right? You're
Larry's
absolutely right.
friendly. Larry's friendly. I have videos
He
of
is. He
Larry
is.
like licking the cats.
Oh, how cute. Oh gosh, this is so adorable.
No, Larry's a good bub.
Well, my Chihuahua, he would not, no, he wouldn't do it. No, cat, mm-mm. That would be awful.
Larry just doesn't like people.
That's not okay. That's cool.
Unless
Oh,
they have
very
kabasi,
friendly.
Alistair. Unless they got kabasi in their hands, then Larry's your best friend. Larry loves the kibas.
That's so funny.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you to all you guys. It's
Yeah.
always good to see you guys.
Cool.
Sharon, quit getting kicked out of rooms. No, I'm so kidding. No, I'm so glad that you do stand up for it and you do, say what you got to say. Because it's like, and believe me, I promise you, I'm from New Jersey. If you ever need backup, I will gladly go in a
Oh, yeah,
space and
honey.
back you up any day, girl. I have no problem getting loud. And
I call you. I'll call you. It's so funny because we're a little army, right? It's if you see
right.
the posts, we're a little army. 30 people followed me after I got kicked out.
Well, just think about how I was going to say this before, but I lost you when I was in the car when you were talking about it. But just think about how many people were in that room because they disagreed with what they
Yeah,
were saying.
of course.
And that's why you got followers like that from that, because it's like they agreed with you. They were probably listening for entertainment purposes, thinking the same thing you were, like these guys are idiots.
They are. They don't know what they're talking about, but they're getting a lot of traction because of the strawberry man, right? That's just how it goes, right?
What the hell is a strawberry man?
It's just so stupid. It's so stupid. So it's this guy